is Sports Network.
NFL Nation, how you doing? Come on in. Welcome to the 2025 Come On In Sports Network's NFL Mock Draft. We are in the building. Thank you for spending some of your Sunday with us, family. As today, we will go through each and every single pick of the first round. No, we will not have those crazy ass trades that a lot of you guys be doing in these mock drafts. Some of y'all need to just stop it. But no, in all seriousness, thank y'all for being here. We got our esteemed panel, the Come On In Sports Networks family is in here. And our family member, our brother, y'all see him to the left. He represents that orange and brown, baby. You already know, baby. It's cold up there. That wind coming off that lake, baby. Casey, KINNAMON. Casey, how you doing? Come on in.
What up, fellas? What up? It's going good down here, man. We've got 18 days left till we find out who everybody's going to go home with on the first night of the draft. And I love this shit. This is something I get into just as much as the season for me. And I don't even really get down with college football during the season because I'm covering the pro game. As soon as that season ends, I dive in. I've watched so much tape, just been grinding film. And it's a pleasure to sit down and get to do this with you guys.
It's a pleasure to have you, and we thank you. And listen, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the master of ceremony who has to keep us all reined in. The one and only host of Uneducated Sports Talk, Mr. Carlos Blake. Carlos, take it away.
What's up, all sports fans? How y'all doing, man? This is Carlos Clayton from Uneducated Sports Talk. That's right, man. Hey, this is one of the best times of the year to be a sports fan, especially just diving into the mock draft. So we're here for you guys, man, to break down 1 through 32, y'all. So stay tuned. We got a great one coming for you guys.
Absolutely, man. We're ready for it. It should be some fun. We had our picks pre-selected. We're ready to go. Hopefully, y'all like the draft picks that we have, but we know there'll be some complaints. We'll see. We'll see. How we starting off, Carlos?
Hey, keep it going. We got Cowboy. Turn your mic on, Cowboy. We got Cowboy in the building representing the Atlanta Falcons. What's up, brother?
That's right. That's right. Huddle up, Falcon fans. I want to say Cowboys. My goodness gracious. I got to apologize to my Falcon fans, but huddle up, Falcon fans. You know what it is, how we do it. It's arguably the most interesting part of the offseason where we get to see who we got. We've been busy in the free agency, so let's see what we can do in the draft here. Appreciate you guys having me on.
No problem. We got Lawrence Foster representing the Buffalo Bills in the building, man. What's up, Lawrence?
Carlos, I don't know how you make me follow up Cowboy there. He's all dressed up, and I'm in a Batman T-shirt. I feel very underdressed. I was not given the memo over what Grant's fancy today. Welcoming everybody to Come On In Sports. We did prepare for this. It's not a seat of your pants type of thing. We do the work here at Come On In, so welcome in. Enjoy the show.
Yes, sir. I got my main man, Mr. TJ Tracy in the building, representing Fly Eagles Sports Talk, man. What's up, TJ?
I'm doing well, thank you very much over in the UK. I hope everyone's having a great Sunday in the States. And yes, we're trying to excite everyone up for the draft because it's a bit of a lull in the off-season at the moment. But hopefully we're going to have a fun couple of weeks with all these mock drafts that everyone's going to be pumping out.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. That's your esteemed panel. So, hey, we got 1 through 32. We're gonna break it on down, you guys. So, how it goes is basically like Dolph said earlier. There are no trades. We don't do that kind of stuff for the mock drafts. I personally hate that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna lie. We're not psychics. We don't know who's gonna trade where. If you think so, then it doesn't happen. So, we'll go 1 through 32. How it is. So let's rock and roll, man. Hey, we got our first pick of the draft for 2025, and it's called the Tennessee Titans. Anyone, before we get started, what are you looking forward to in the draft? One or two people. Let's go, Cowboy.
With Titans, it was one thing that stood out last season, and that was the inconsistency of the quarterback play. I think that with that O-line that they have, which is pretty good. I mean, the quarterback stayed on the run a little bit, but with this pick here, I think I'm not going to name the pick, but I think with this first pick, with who I think we're going with, I think it'll change the dynamic of that offense. The defense was not that bad, but at the same time, they can use some work on the defense. Like they say, defense wins championships. But they first got to establish some type of nucleus with that quarterback position. That's the most important position on the field. So they have to start there at least and build around that.
Gotcha. And Lawrence, I'm gonna go with you for a second. What do you think is the consensus around this first round of the draft? What's more important? What's the most important thing you think about with these players coming out?
Well, you always talk about the draft being quarterback driven, but this year kind of seems a little bit odd. There's only 3 even be talked about, in Jackson Dart. Maybe where he goes is the talk of the early draft, but it seems to me that it's the offensive and defensive lines this draft that's going to really drive the draft, because there's a steep drop off at certain positions after that first wave, especially at offensive tackle and D tackle. So to me, it's going to be where do the quarterbacks fall, but then how's the rest of the draft shaped by those the linemen.
All right, let's get into it. My bad, Zach. Do your thing, Zach. My bad. Do your thing, but that's my fault. Let's get it, y'all. Hey, with the first overall pick in the 2025 NFL mock draft from the Come On In Sports Network, the Tennessee Titans will select Mr. Cam Ward, quarterback of the University of Miami.
Nice.
How do you feel about that, you guys? Go with it, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously what they need. As Cowboy was saying earlier, the quarterback situation has been rough for the Tennessee Titans really in quite some time. I mean, you've dealt with Will Levis the last 2 years for the most part. Before that, Ryan Tannehill had a 4-year stretch, even though I don't think many people enjoyed him there. I mean, I feel like they haven't had a true franchise guy since Vince Young, and hopefully Cam Ward can be that answer. He's been one of the guys that everybody's been hyped up around, and I think Tennessee Titans just about have signed this deal without them coming up to a podium and saying it. They've canceled their interviews with Abdul Carter, with Shadur Sanders, and it looks like Cam Ward's going to be that first pick coming off.
Hey, Casey, what's your feelings about Cam Ward being the number 1 quarterback? Is it fair to say that he is the best quarterback in this draft?
Oh, hands down. Yeah, we're talking about just a pure talent perspective. There's a way bigger gap between 1 and 2 than 2 and 3. Like he can do it all, man. We're talking absurd arm talent. He walks into the NFL and he's a top 10 arm day one. The stuff that he can do off platform. The thing that gets talked about the least is his quick release. Like he can get rid of that pill super quick, which is if you're going to Tennessee and Brian Callahan's system, it's timing, it's rhythm, it's getting the ball out and letting your playmakers do things. Now they still need to build some of those playmakers up around him, but just from a talent perspective. And I thought this when he came out of Incarnate Word before he went to Washington State. I thought this was one of the most talented quarterbacks in the nation. He cemented that this year, and in my opinion, he might not be the top talent in this draft, but he's by far and away the top quarterback in this draft.
Hey, Dolph, Brian Callahan, he's got something going on with Cam Ward. If he does choose him, is Cam Ward a day 1 starter?
In Tennessee, is. The Will Levis is not Brian Callahan's quarterback. Will Levis has not fulfilled the promise that the Titans organization thought that he had. But again, a lot of times, teams give up on these kids too fast. Patience is a virtue, and in the NFL, there's not a lot of patience, especially at the quarterback position, to develop a young quarterback. Now, word that I hear thrown around about Cam Ward is just as KC said, is off-platform ability, his own strength. I kind of hear that every year about a certain quarterback. My thing is, I watch tape, I watch games. Are you a winner? Can you lead men? Yes, he can. Is he the best quarterback in this draft? Many would say he is, but for a long time, he was not considered the best. But Cam Ward going to the Titans, I think if anything else, it promotes competition between him and Will Levis. And with the selection of Cam Ward, my question is this. Does another team call the Titans and say, hey, we'd like to take a flyer on Will Levis?
I'm not one of them teams. I know that. Hell. But no, you're right though. That could happen, man. So I think Tennessee does have a. I can say a star in the making, but this is probably the best quarterback draft prospect they had in a while. Like you said, Zach, since Vince Young. So they should be excited about what's going on right now.
Yes.
All right, let's get to the number 2 pick now in the NFL draft, y'all. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. So we had the Cleveland Browns come up now, and we had the whole issue with Myles Garrett where they signed that man, so he's back in. Do they go quarterback? Do they go with the young dual threat player in Colorado? Well, right now from the Come On In Sports Network, you guys, the number 2 pick in the NFL mock draft, the Cleveland Browns will select Abdul Carter, defensive end from Penn State. How do you feel about that, y'all? Let's go with your TJ. Is that a big need for Cleveland to get Abdul Carter right here instead of a quarterback?
Yeah, I believe so. Like they're tied to obviously Deshaun Watson for the next couple of years. There's no way they're able to move that. So it makes sense to obviously get the D line and get that defense ready and young for when they're able to even move on from Deshaun Watson to then replace with the quarterback. But yeah, it makes sense. And obviously with Myles Garrett had a little bit of issue earlier where he wanted the money, but it makes you want just to fortify it, just in case something else happens. You don't want any more drama. So it makes sense with Carter, even with his injury and all that. Like he's too good to pass up.
Now I know I got to talk to the Cleveland Brown fan on here, Mr. Case. Abdul Carter, are you liking that, or would you rather a quarterback at this position at this point?
There's not a quarterback in my mind that could fill the shoes for what they need to do. For me, it comes down to like, is it a need? No, it's not a need. The Browns are good at defensive end, but I'm not letting good get in the way of great. And if you just look at the Philadelphia Eagles and what they were able to do, building from the trenches outward, and to have that pass rush be so ferocious that it just keeps opposing offenses off schedule, off time, and you can't switch protections. You can't slide everybody over to Myles Garrett when Abdul Carter's on the other side. So I'm just looking to wreak havoc. I'm looking to get after it. This is exactly what Jim Schwartz needs to spark this defense. You saw what they were able to do in 23. They took a step back last year with their pass rush not getting home as much. Now Myles is that constant. He's that North Star. He gets home. He wins his reps. But you need someone opposite of him that's dynamic and that can really bring havoc. And you're going to get him on a cheap deal for the next 4 years. So in my mind, this is a no-brainer. Now, there was the conversation in my mind wasn't around quarterback. It was, is this Travis Hunter or is this Abdul Carter? Because those are two difference makers, in my opinion. I just don't – the Browns view Hunter as a wide receiver primarily. And I think if you're going to take Travis Hunter, you need to have a complete plan and let him do him. I think he can be a unicorn. I don't think the Browns are set up to let him do that. So I'm going with Abdul Carter, and I'm making opposing quarterbacks' life a nightmare.
Lawrence, what's up, brother? Hey, how do you feel about them picking Abdul Carter? Is he a good fit for Cleveland, or should they win a quarterback instead?
No, I think you're right along there. Of if you're gonna have a strength, make it stronger. Now Myles Garrett has somebody who pair up with him. Not the whole attention can't be focused on Garrett anymore. And like you said, like TJ said, their hands are tied, and it's their own fault with Deshaun Watson. Even their owner has admitted like it's a big mistake, but monetarily you can't do it. And like Travis Hunter, if you're not going to do the Ohtani type thing where you're going to let him do both things, you're kind of wasting what he's able to offer you and do. So I think Abdul Carter is the one that makes the most sense for Cleveland. Absolutely.
Will we go, Dolph, do you think that Abdul Carter is the best prospect in this year's draft? There's been a lot of talk about who is the pound for pound best player in this draft. Are you going Abdul Carter?
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
Why you say Travis over him?
Because the different ways that Travis can impact the game on both sides of the ball. That's I mean, simple, straight to it. But what I like about this pick is, like Lawrence and like Casey said, that now you cannot put all your attention to Myles Garrett on the other side. You will have to pay attention to Abdul Carter coming off the other end. So this gives the Browns a dynamic pass rushing duel. The kid has superstar possibility. Let's see, hope he can stay healthy. And if he fulfills his promise, Cleveland for the next, man, 5-6 years is going to be really scary on defense. I love the way that he pursues the ball backside, that speed coming down the line of scrimmage. And man, with that first step and that dip and that swipe move that he has, man, Abdul Carter, man, I think that's a real good selection for Cleveland at number 2. But personally, I think they should have went quarterback. But again, I can't be mad at getting Abdul Carter.
Facts. All right, y'all. Let's go with our number 3 pick, the New York Giants. Now we got Cam Ward and Abdul Carter off the board now, so the Giants got a lot to talk about with this. So let's get right into it, man. At the number 3 pick of our 2025 mock draft, the New York Football Giants will select Travis Hunter, wide receiver, cornerback. That's right, both positions from Colorado. All right, Cowboy, I'm going with you, man. How does Travis Hunter fit in today's NFL with the Giants?
Man, with the much needs that New York needs, I mean that's not a bad pick at all. But like Casey said, it all depends on how he's going to be used. Is he going to be used as a defensive player? Or is he going to be used as a wide receiver? But it all depends on how New York needs him. But with New York, I would actually try to use them both ways. I mean, I'll even add to his resume as a returner. So I mean, with a round out as round out as Travis is, he is that all natural talent athlete. Like Dolph just said, you talking about best pure athlete one of the pure athletes in the draft, who's been trained by Deion, who actually played the same positions as Travis Hunter has. So a lot of people saying that he can't do it in the NFL. Deion did it, and I think Travis, being trained by Deion, can very well fill that spot for the Giants, and I think he'll be that asset that will be that building stone for the Giants.
TJ, hey, give me a ratio from offense and defense, a percentage. How much offense, how much defense do you think the Giants will force or allow Travis Hunter to play in their offense and defense systems?
I think for defense, I believe he'll be majority because obviously they've lost their corners in free agency. As when it comes to offense, I see him being obviously a number 2, maybe 3, because obviously they've got their number 1 wide receiver last year. So I believe, he majority will be on the defensive side, but I could see him playing about 50% of the offensive snaps, maybe as a 3rd wide receiver.
Because even in Deion's day, I mean, he did both, but it wasn't a lot of offense. He wasn't on there primarily 100%. I think Travis Hunter's going to try it, right? I mean, they said it couldn't be done in college. He proved us wrong. He did it in college, and now came to the NFL. How do you feel like his body, Lawrence, is going to hold up playing both sides of the field?
Well, I worry more about his mind. You talk about the meetings that players have and the limited time they have. If they expect him to be like a 60-70% guy on both sides of the ball, where's that time going to come from? Because those players are always in those meetings, but with them, he's going to have to go to defensive meetings, offensive meetings. On the sideline, when the defense is making adjustment, the offense is talking, hey, we got to do this. He's going to be out on the field doing other things. So mentally is the biggest hurdle, I think. I think physically, anybody who watched him last year, I don't ever remember him looking tired. So I'm not so worried about him physically. I just think mentally, that's going to be a lot to ask somebody to, at the NFL level, do something that hasn't been done in a very long time.
Nah, I hear that. It will be tough for Travis Hunter, man, but if there's someone that can do it, it's probably him. But like Paul said, he's probably the pound best player in this draft, can go both ways, but I think he's going to try it until he can't. If that makes sense. Hey, if I'm New York, what do you got to lose? Because, right, we're just bottom of the barrel right now. Let's try and see what happens with it, man. And just don't, if you know the kid is being worn down, what I say is shut him down. Shut him down a certain percentage of each spot because he's going to play both. That's just his makeup. He's going to play both.
So, Carlos, if he had to choose, then what would you have him be? If he only could do one, which one would you take away and have him play the other?
Man, personally, I'm not gonna lie. If I had to choose, I'm going with the cornerback position. I've seen him in college, and his mind on defense. He's like a Deion Sanders. Like if I see ball, I'm getting it and I'm going. And if you see his interceptions from no highlights, it's the mind. It's not just physicality. It's his mind that really works to get those picks because he knows how to play angles. He knows how to play zone very, very well, and he's very hands-on with that football. So if you pick one, I gotta go with defense because you got neighbors back there and other guys you can plug in on your offense, right? I would go defense for sure.
Yeah. He is definitely one of those guys that like one of the other safeties that we're going to talk about later on. That you do not want that ball to hang up in the air that much long. I mean, that long, because his football IQ playing that safety position, playing that cornerback position, I mean, it's phenomenal. I love it. So if that ball hangs up in the air at any time, he has the speed, the athletic ability to make an impact on that ball.
Right. And before we move on, just to answer that question, Deion answered it on Friday at the at the pro day when asked which side of the ball would he start Travis Hunter on, and he said he should start on the offensive side of the ball because of the terminology, and it's much harder learning the offensive terminology and philosophies in the National Football League than it is for defense. For defense, like you said, Carlos, defense, promise like defense, he's going to be fine. But if I'm a team selecting him, I would start him out on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay, and that makes sense too. I mean, well, look, you can never have enough offense in today's NFL.
I think that's the most interesting part of this conversation, though, is we've seen guys play full-time defensive back and then moonlight as a receiver. We've never seen it the opposite way, where a guy's a full-time receiver and can just step in. There's a lot of communication things, but we're talking about a special one-of-one type athlete. Especially, I think if you're a zone-heavy team on defense, I think he can step right in. His ability to bait quarterbacks and throw it and his closing speed, and then when he gets there, his ball skills really separate him from the pack. That's to me, that's his special powers, the ball skills. He comes down with football in miraculous ways, and he's been the best athlete of every field he's ever been on. Every time you watch him play. So I don't think he'll have any trouble just stepping in occasionally, if it's a zone-heavy team and making a real impact on defense while being a receiver full-time.
Yeah. Agree.
All right, I like that. Well, that's your top three. That's the most flamboyant.
Yeah.
Top three you'll get in a long time. So I'm with those three right there. And I think you can kind of put them all around how you want to, but I think all three teams in the day got their particular player that they want so far in this draft. All right, let's go to the number 4 pick, you guys. Let's get it. And that's going to be to the New England Patriots, who have been used to this area now since a certain quarterback has left a while ago. So welcome to the real dark side of the NFL, if you want to say that. But they are picking with the 4th pick. And this is a pick now. In reality, this could be somewhat of a trade kind of option for someone to either trade up or the Patriots go down in the draft because I don't know why, but no one is really breaking out for this particular franchise, one player. But that's just keeping in mind, it could be a spot where you see your first trade of the draft, in my opinion. All right, but let's go with it. The New England Patriots, man, with the 4th overall pick in the 2025 NFL mock draft, the New England Patriots will select Armand Mimble. Is that we going with it? O-line for Missouri?
Good selection.
I think I love that selection because I always say this about him before I let you guys have it. When you don't really know where to go, like if this is an obvious, like a draft, a trade, and you can't make it happen, I always say go with your O-line or D-line. That's it. Go with O-line, D-line. If you don't have a singular particular person or player that you want to get, go with your O-line or your D-line and strengthen up that necessary position because we all know in the NFL, you don't win anything without your O-line or your D-line being stout, man. So I do like that pick, Armand Mimble O-line. How do we feel about that right now? Let's go with Cowboy.
Yeah, I love that pick. They couldn't go. I wouldn't be mad. They went with Will Campbell as well. I mean, they have to find a way to get Drake May comfortable in that pocket. Drake May does not look good having the shifty feet. You know, he's no Tom Brady, but he's no scrambler either. So he tends to make bad decisions. When or shall I say he makes good decisions when he has time to throw, and they need to shore up that O-line, that offensive line. We don't need him scrambling trying to make plays.
I feel that. Hey, and you want to protect Drake maybe because he is pretty much your. They set on saying this is our guy. Let's rock with it. So let's go with you, Lawrence. How about Armand? Is he the guy that's gonna really be the reason that Drake may have to step up in his maturation?
A lot of his comparisons have been to Peter Skoronski from the Titans, who was drafted a couple years ago. And you think about who the coach was who drafted Skoronski at that time. So you see the connection there between those two, of Vrabel being back, then knowing what he needs to have with the protection up front. So it's not a sexy pick, right? It's not something that fans think, oh my God, we got like a star Heisman winner like Travis Hunter. But during the year when Drake May's not on his back 50% of the time, they're going to realize that it was a good pick. It could have been the Campbell offensive tackle from Ohio State as well. But I think this is good because Vrabel has a connection to Skoronski, and a lot of the draft experts are saying that's kind of like his pro comparison. So I think it's a really strong pick by New England.
Yeah, I can't deny either. I like that pick. Like I said, when in doubt, man, go with your O-line, D-line to strengthen up. To strengthen all that up, man. So I really rock with it. All right, let's keep it going, y'all. The number 5 pick that we chose for the Come On In Sports Network 2025 mock draft. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars on the clock now, and they will select Mason Graham, D tackle from Michigan.
Yes.
Let's go. I'm gonna go with Casey, man, on this one, man. Hey, Mason Graham, he's a guy that a lot of folks are talking about, and he could be a game changer. How does he fit in with this Jacksonville Jaguars culture?
Well, if others look at Mason Graham as a prospect, he probably has the quickest path to reaching his ceiling and being in that all-pro discussion. But he's a defensive tackle. The thing about him is he's not built for the spring. He doesn't have like sexy measurables. He wasn't going to blow up the combine. But when you turn on the tape, he is a game wrecker. You know, some guys just play ball, and he's a guy because he doesn't have long arms. He isn't super tall. Like there's going to be like. You forget the tape. The tape is the end all be all. It's the grail. When you go back to the tape, this is a game wrecker. And within his rookie contract, this kid will be an all-pro. So you get to add that to the middle of your defense, and that is a hands down no-brainer for them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with you. TJ. How do you feel about Mason Graham, man? D tackle from Michigan.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like Jacksonville Jaguars, they need help on defense. They were getting destroyed completely last season. And yeah, he is the from what I see is the sort of the perfect run stopper. You know, right in the line, just to shore up whatever you need. Yeah, he should fit in perfectly in Jacksonville, but it is going to be a bit of a shock going. I believe it was Michigan all the way to Florida, so a bit of a docks the system there.
And the weather's two completely different things. I feel you on that. Hey, I agree with Case though. If there's one guy that is ready during his rookie season to be all pro, I agree. It is Mason Graham. I thought he's the most for sure defensive prospect to be all pro from his position. You know, DN is kind of tough, so Abdul Carter will have it kind of tough to be all pro in that spot ASAP. But as far as Mason Graham goes, I like his quickness as well. I'm going with you, Zach. How does Mason Graham fit in the Jaguars?
Yeah, I mean, you know, just along with what TJ said, I mean, he's probably the best run defense lineman out there right now. So him being able to, you know, potentially slow down one asset of the offense for the team they're opposing against is going to be massive. And, you know, with his skill set playing out there at Michigan and then coming down, you know what, he's going to love the sun. You know what, I like, if you want to live in a tundra, or do you want to live in sunny Florida? I feel like that's a no-brainer.
Right. Yeah.
Did you guys see about what's his name, Michael Parsons, and he was talking to Derrick Henry about why he didn't go to Alabama? He said it was too hot. he said it was too hot, and they worked too hard. I was like, "Yo, come on, bro." Hey,
he said he can say whatever he wants now. He said he's already he can say whatever he wants.
I thought it was.
Hey, I can side with Michael Parsons on that. When I first signed up for the military, going to boot camp, you know, I was given the option of going to Florida, sunny Florida, or going to Waukegan, Illinois. And me, I figured if I had to do PT, I can do it better in colder weather as opposed to the hot weather down there in Florida. Oh, bad mistake, guys. Bad mistake. I'm telling you. Should have went to Florida.
That's always funny. Hey, all right, we got our number 6 pick now from the Las Vegas Raiders, and there's a lot of we need a lot right here if you're Las Vegas, and there's a certain names out there that we want to get, but right now our mock draft is on it right now. So for the number 6 pick in the 2025 Coming in Sports Network NFL mock draft, the Las Vegas Raiders will select Ashton Jeanty, running back from Boise State. Yo, I'm gonna start off with you, Dolph. How we like Las Vegas skipping the quarterback and going straight to the running back beast?
Hey, especially look at those numbers: 374 carries, over 2,600 yards, a fire plug. He reminds me his running style of Emmitt Smith, but faster. The kid is special. Listen, just last season, they selected Brock Bowers, a generation of talent, and I can say that because actually it fits him, and he proved it. And now you add Ashton Jeanty. Now they just gave Geno a 2-year extension, so it looks like Geno is going to be there for at least the next 3 to 4 years. And are they sold on the quarterbacks in this draft? In our draft, we think they're going to go with Ashton Jeanty, Brock Bowers. Now you got a 1-2 punch. You got the running back you have to worry about, and you have an all-world tight end that you have to worry about. You got a competent player under center at quarterback and Geno Smith. So I think this is an excellent pick for the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost say Oakland Raiders.
Yep.
hey, Zach, how you feeling about Ashton Jeanty, man?
Yeah, man. Look, Pete Carroll coming in as head coach, go and grab Geno. I just feel like if he isn't there, they probably go quarterback here. I mean, we know Tom Brady's worked extensively with Shedeur Sanders, and there's probably a guy that he'd like to have on his team, but they got Geno. They had the extension, and the biggest need right now, I think, for them is absolutely that running back position. And like you said, they grabbed Brock Bowers last year, so they have weapons. They had their wide receiver that plays slot, and I don't know why I'm forgetting the name now, but he came in. He didn't drop a ball until like the end of the season. So, trying to just fill out one piece at each spot, I think is very important for them. Since they moved on from Josh Jacobs, what I always felt like was the huge mistake. I would have given him whatever he wanted in order for him to stay. They couldn't figure it out. They thought Zamir White had a good closing to a season 2 years prior. Comes in this year and man couldn't do anything. Couldn't get anything moving on the ground. They go ahead and pick up Raheem Mostert, and they'll have Ashton Jeanty. That little tag team duo, I think, is going to be electric.
Yeah, I love the pick because now we're seeing about what a great running back. Hopefully, Jeanty can be that great running back for the Raiders or whoever he goes to in reality. But we know about now. We saw what Saquon did for the Eagles. We saw what Derrick Henry does for the Ravens. We saw Jacobs for the Packers, and so on and so on. Where we all thought that the running back was kind of dead. And just this last year, we've seen, okay, you want to win, get your good old line with a great running back, and boom, anything is possible. So I'm going to go with TJ, who knows a thing or two about great running backs. How does Ashton Jeanty, mold this Raiders organization?
Oh, it makes sense because obviously with Pete Carroll being there, he loves his running backs. He is definitely rely on the running backs to do most of the hard work. And obviously that was some of the issues back in Seattle. They wanted the fans wanted Russ to cook, but we're going to go focus on the run game. And with Jeanty being as explosive and the most rounded running back, and some people were calling for the Heisman obviously last year, it makes sense for them to grab this player when he's available because, you've locked up Geno Smith for the next 2 years. If, unfortunately, you're in the higher position next year, you can then get a QB sit behind Geno, but at least you've got your workhorse with Jeanty and obviously that fantastic tight end in Brock Bowers.
Hell yeah. All right, let's go with the number 7 pick now. We have the New York Jets on the clock now, and this team going through the transition of losing Aaron Rodgers, and now you got Aaron Glenn's new head coach. So I kind of like this pick. The spoiler, I like this pick from Aaron Glenn, honestly. But let's get it, y'all. At the number 7 pick of the 2025 Come On In Sports Mock Draft, the New York Jets will select Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan. I'm starting with you, Case. How we like Will Johnson? How you feel about him with New York joining Aaron Glenn, who was a former DB himself?
Yeah, that was my first talking point, is to think what Aaron Glenn wants, what he looks for. Obviously, himself being a defensive back in the NFL, comes over, first pick, set the tone, go get you a defensive back. Also, this is another guy, man. He thrives in zone. He can do man. He can do press man. He battled some injuries this last year. So if you're going to look to his tape, you're going to go a couple years back to see what he can, his apex, what he can be. But this is a player that coming into the season was in contention to be a top 5 pick. The injury kind of set that off a little bit. But this is a great landing spot for him, and I think he'll thrive with Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, I love the spot he's in. Like you said earlier, he had his injury season last year, but before that, you're right. He was a for sure top 5 pick. And look, two spots later is not bad either though. Let's go with you, Dolph. Will Johnson, man, he's one of my favorites in this draft. How about you?
Likewise, like Casey said, man, you got to go back. Believe the 2023 season. Just injuries this past season, but when you turn on the tape and you look at this kid, he's the prototypical size cornerback that you want in the National Football League. In the National Football League, he has the size and the length to match up with bigger receivers. He can, like Casey say, zone or man. He has a great mind. Because earlier, like you were saying about Travis Hunter, this young man too has a great mind. And listen, if you are off with your girl, this kid is liable to take it and go the other way. As you can see, he had 2 intercepts, and both of them were taken to the house. So I love this kid here going to the Jets.
Nah, I agree. I love it too. This dude is phenomenal. And if it wasn't for the injury, like I said, he would be probably top 3, top 4 for sure, man. But nonetheless, though, if the Jets do in reality get this kid, man, that is an awesome pick for that franchise. And Aaron Glenn trying to start that franchise off on the right note of the draft. That'll be a perfect pick for those guys, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it moving, man. Let's go to our 8th pick now. So that's gonna be the we're at the Carolina Panthers. All right, at number 8. Hey, the Carolina Panthers. I'm gonna go with Cowboy on this one. Cowboy, make a selection, man, for the Carolina Panthers, brother.
Yeah, it is Carolina Panthers. It is. And going back to last season, guys, we saw Carolina start off very bad on the offensive side and as a team totally. But we saw renewed confidence going down to the end of the season. Even though they lost games at the end of the season, they looked promising. They looked good, especially when they came and played us. God forbid. But their record didn't look like the way they played. Like I said, they played strong toward the end of the season. But going into this season, who did I pick?
I got you right here, man. Hey, the number 8 pick going into this is going to be.
It's been a long week, Carlos.
It's been a long week. We got Jalen Walker, man, linebacker from Georgia. We got old Jalen Walker, man. He's going to be.
And I don't know why I didn't remember that, because that's one of the guys I wanted Atlanta to go after. But yeah, I think one of the areas on defense that they look really shoddy at was that edge. When they came to play Atlanta, we were able to do it at will, and like any other team was able to do it at will, running outside the tackle, running up that big gap. Sorry about that, guys. But Jalen Walker is that guy that exudes what a defense needs, where they can start building at. His explosiveness off the edge. He's a sure tackler, which is a lot of what. Sorry about that, y'all.
You're popular guy, man.
That's you guys. That's the chat. But Jalen Walker fits so well in with this young, growing team. It's another young player that they can bring in to build the offense with.
I'm glad we're not going into this draft saying what quarterback does the Carolina Panthers need. I'm glad that we saw Bryce Young played very, very well down the stretch. So I'm happy it wasn't a QB need for Carolina because, like you said, Dolph, earlier, a lot of these teams, they're like 2 years in and they're letting you go. If you can't show us what you got in 2 years, you got to go. And I'm glad that he had a chance to come back after being benched, show what he could do, and now you can go and needs to fit around that team, not just for the quarterback. Casey, how do you feel about Walker, man, going with the Panthers?
It'd be interesting to see how he's utilized. Because he obviously can come off the edge, he can play off ball. Are they going to allow him to be that hybrid, kind of deploy him as a math changer? Someone a quarterback has to identify when they come to the line, find him, find out where he's at, kind of skew things that way with protection because he can do it all. I know he's adamant that he wants to play linebacker. I would be interested, especially early on. It's just so much easier to acclimate someone to coming off the edge. Mm-hmm. So I would try to get him that up front and then build on his packages and get him in in coverage and situation where he can drop. But he's just a player that has so many skills. There's definitely massive ways they could utilize him. It'll be interesting to see what their plan is.
No, I agree with that. Hey, Lawrence, we're talking about the Panthers and getting the defensive edge rusher. Was that the right spot for them to get an edge rusher, or you thought that maybe they go more offensive side of things?
No, I think the pass rusher is paramount for them. They keep addressing the offense, and like you said, I think the biggest thing for them was they don't need a quarterback. And look, they're not in the top 5; they're number 8, so they're getting better. But I think it also goes to show Bryce, like sitting is actually okay for quarterbacks. You don't have to jump right in and play right away. Taking time, taking a breath is probably the best thing. And I think the benching of Young last year really helped him. And now the Panthers can operate like, hey, we don't have an emergency at quarterback. We can build around it. And in their division that is, I think, pretty winnable, a pass rusher is a very good choice for them.
Nah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I agree. So Jalen Walker is going to be, like you said earlier, Case, it is easier to put someone in at the edge rusher instead of playing full-blown linebacker. So sometimes just tell a guy, hey, go get him. Go get him early in his career while he's still young and can go get him. So I do like that pick as well. TJ, I know we got another Georgia Bulldog, but he's not going to the Eagles this time. He's going to the Panthers. This is the right spot for Jalen Walker going to the Panthers.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, the Panthers need that defense, but I am intrigued if they do transfer him to the edge because of his just how physically athletic he is. Like the explosive, just get to the quarterback would be fun to see him do. But yeah, it sucks he's not coming to the Eagles. But then again, he's a George. It's all George players can't come to the Birds. But no, I think the Panthers will have a great player if they pick him. It'd just be curious to see if they do keep him at the linebacker position.
All right, yes, sir. Let's go with our number 9 pick. The draft is going to continue to roll. We have Panthers at 8 now. Let's go with the New Orleans Saints. Who that nation stand up now? Let that down. Down, let that down. Yo, all right, let's get it, man. Hey, with the number 9 overall pick in the Come On In Sports Network 2025 NFL mock draft, New Orleans Saints will select Shedeur Sanders, quarterback from Colorado. Yo, I'm going to go with my man Dolph with this one. Dolph, baby, if Shedeur not, let you guys know this is a mock draft, so things might not go this way. But let's say in reality, Shedeur Sanders is available to be a New Orleans Saint. Do the Saints pick him up, and what does that mean for the Saints franchise, Dolph?
I like the people. I like the city. I like the colors. Said it 2 times. He might be just trying to talk his son up in the draft, but at the same time, he might be dropping some tea leaves. I'm telling you right now, if this becomes fruition, you're going to see me dancing on camera. Right? Because we will have our quarterback for the future. Yeah, I know he throws since everybody wants a nitpick, because all of a sudden, this kid went from before the NFL Combine, he was the number 1 quarterback. But since he didn't participate in the NFL Combine, all of a sudden he's got, I guess, character issues because he doesn't care but what team thinks. Okay, he throws a while. His passes aren't as tight as Cam Ward. They're kind of fluttering. You hear all this stuff. All I know is at every level this young man has been at, he has won. He's a winner. He knows how to win. He knows football. Are there things he has to work on? Yes. He has to stop holding the balls too long. You can't do it in the NFL trying to get the big play. He has to step up and learn how to step up in the pocket in the NFL. He likes to escape to the outside a lot. Two athletes are too big, too fast in the NFL for you to be consistently doing that unless you're a Lamar Jackson. He's not a statue in the pocket. He's more mobile than people give him credit for. But yeah, I would like this selection if it happened. Shedeur Sanders at number 9 to the Saints would be, it would be must-see TV in New Orleans and Who Dat Nation. And every day at the in the practice, it'll be about the quarterback competition. Mm-hmm. And I ain't just talking about for the backup.
I'm saying when it comes down to his athleticism, he's more of a Jameis Winston kind of speed. That makes sense. Can still get out the pocket when need be, but it's going to take a little bit of giddy up to get there.
That man say Jameis Winston speed. I don't know if that's a compliment.
I'm saying but he can still get out the pocket somewhat. But
Casey, I know that's a compliment.
Hey, one thing for certain though, what you do, one thing for certain, you surround that kid with talent. That learning curve is not going to be as curvy as we think it is. Like Dolph said, he does need some more developing. Yes, but he's in a perfect spot to develop if he lands here right here in New Orleans. Plus, you look at one maybe 2 years of him sitting behind number 1 before he's able to come in, and by that time you hope that that learning curve is actually gone and he's ready to take over the franchise.
Yes.
No, I'm with you on that. Hey, I'm gonna go with Lawrence. So let's say in reality this is your drop off, right, Lawrence, and you have Shedeur at number. Is that because of just GMs are just scared to pick him because of who he is, or what's the belief in that? The drop from could be a top 2, top 3 pick to 9.
I think I agree with Dolph. Like, people just nitpick right now, and every year, like, there seems like there's a quarterback who always just gets poked into his game. And you look at the top, and you have Tennessee, Cleveland, the Giants need a quarterback. But then once you get past that, they're kind of all set. The Jets, possibly, right? They only have Fields there for a couple of years. But I think it's more of a thing of there's not really that huge need right now of the people above here. And I listened to a show called Series Moving the Chains with a former GM and quarterback who have talked about, like, Sanders possibly having like an Aaron Rodgers type fall if he gets past the first few picks, where nobody thought Rodgers was going to get drafted in the 20s, and then he just kept falling and falling and falling. So I don't think him falling to the Saints is outlandish as it might have seemed a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think of one thing that I noticed too. If I may interject, well, a lot of people may be looking at the fact too that he hasn't been brought along like he should have, because if you paid attention to the games, whenever Shedeur comes to the sideline, he's under Dion. You know, he's not under like maybe a quarterback coach or offensive coordinator. He's always under Dion. So, and Dion is not a quarterback. He's a phenomenal athlete, but he's not a quarterback. So people may look at that as being his weakness, is not being brought along like he should have, like a normal quarterback.
No, that makes perfect sense. Honestly, it does make perfect sense. But Shedeur dropping off. Look, he has besides super gifted at running the football, like a Lamar Jackson is or whatever, even like Kyler Murray per se. But as far as like accuracy, getting the ball out there, and the moment, he wants the moment. He's one of those guys. He's gonna talk the talk. Now in the NFL, can you walk the walk? But I love his moxie, and I think a lot of GMs, they kind of get rubbed the wrong way. And of course, his dad is prime time. So that also.
Before we move on, let me just touch on this. And in football, the money area on the football field is the red zone. Cam Ward struggles in the red zone. Shedeur Sanders. Cam Ward in the red zone is 39% completion rate in the red zone. That's not going to cut it at the next level. Shedeur Sanders, it has a higher completion percent. And I'm not on here saying that Shedeur should go before Cam Ward, or Cam Ward should go before Shedeur. That's up, of course, to the teams to make the decision on who they think fits best for their particular organization. But I just don't like, and then we can move on. I'm sorry, I just don't like some of the antics that are used during the draft process. The NFL is a beautiful thing. This is one of the best times of the year, the NFL draft, but it gets so ugly when you have those out there with hidden agendas, and they'll break a kid down and make his stock drop, and at the same time they'll lift another kid up and have that kid rise up the board. Right now it's Jackson Dart rising up, but remember, just signed with Denver was the Jets quarterback. Help me out, guys.
Zach Wilson.
Everyone knew there was no way that Zach Wilson should have been the second pick in the NFL draft. But they talked them in, they talked them up. But it's just something that I don't like, but I understand it's a part of the business. A lot of teams do it because they want to try the player to try to fall down to them, but it sometimes it becomes nasty, man, the way they try to tear these kids down. And my thing is, hell, if I got 2-3 years of film, it's all about what I do on the football field.
Should be.
Yeah.
I've always felt the same way about that too. I'm not a big fan of the combine. I always say, obviously the combine can help or hurt, man. So guys like Shador don't want to do it because you're not about to criticize me. I know what I am already. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm for sure top 10, top 15 pick, whatever you want to say, top 5 pick, whatever. So yeah, and some people just don't like that. And obviously for those who are 7th rounders, 6th rounders, or undrafted, that's where it's big for you to try and up your stock up. So I agree with that. But tearing kids down, I don't like that aspect. But let's keep going with our draft, y'all. Number 10, the Chicago Bears now are on the clock now, and let's get right into it. At the number 10 pick with the 2025 Come On In Sports Network NFL mock draft, Chicago Bears select Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State. Hey, and before I let you guys have it, I did say pound for pound, Tyler Warren's my top 3. He's my top 3, top whatever you want to call it, top 3, top 4 best players in this draft. I thought whoever got this kid is going to get a luxury pick. I said the same thing about Brock Bowers last year. I thought Brock Bowers was the best player in the draft last year, and look what kind of season he had. And I think the tight end is going to be another big time player. This time, Chicago Bears get Tyler Warren, and I do like that pick from them, man. So let's go around the board. Let's talk with Lawrence right quick. How do you feel about Tyler Warren, big name going to the Bears?
I like that you brought up Brock Bowers. Warren seems like he has the potential to have that type of season. Obviously, you can't predict that he's going to have like a historic season like Bowers had, but the Bears are doing things really smartly for the first time in a long time this offseason. They've traded for veteran offensive linemen, so there's no learning curve for the offensive line, which was in shambles last year. They still have DJ Moore. They have Roma Dunze from last year. Now they're going to, if this happens this way, they bring in the best tight end, which we've seen the impact they can have. The Chicago continues to build a smart foundation and a smart team in one of the toughest divisions in the league.
Go with Zach. Zach, how do you feel about Tyler Warren, man, going to the Chicago Bears? What does that make for them? It's an extension of the O-line that they've so beautifully brought in, as Lawrence said. It's an extension of what they're building in Chicago.
Look, Caleb Williams definitely didn't have the year that I think people were hoping, or Chicago fans were hoping he would have. Given a big option as tight end, we know young quarterbacks typically like to favor those tight ends. They're big targets. They're normally your short intermediate routes, and it just is an easy way to get you going. And like you said, extension on the line and be able to protect him, give him more options, allowing him to go through his progressions more smoothly without always feeling like he's in a rush and getting into a bad rhythm. So yeah, hopefully Tyler Warren can fill those gaps and give Caleb Williams a viable option for receiving the ball.
Hey, Casey, I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of Tyler Warren jerseys come like week 9, week 10 of the NFL season. How about you, Casey? How you feeling about that?
Super complete player. Like when you just watch him, I watched him score a touchdown in which he started the play as the center, snapped the ball, and then went and caught a touchdown. You'll never.
Wow.
The kids, coach's son, the whole thing. You know what I mean? But it's what he does. Like you said, this is a player that's every personnel grouping. He's on the field. Like you don't have to like Bowers You're not going to ask Bowers to take on too many defensive ends. You're just not going to. Keep him at his strength. This kid, you can put him in 12 personnel and let him motion down, get mismatches, or you can keep him in as the end line and let him do the nasty work. He can do it all. He'll fit real good. That's a blue collar city. They'll love that kid right away.
Yeah. I mean, this kid was. Sorry about that. Forgot Zach's back.
I'm back now.
This kid was scoring touchdowns in the Wildcat. Look how big this dude is. It's almost like Derrick Henry in the Wildcat formation, but he's just a lot whiter. but no, I from Penn State to Chicago, Pennsylvania and Illinois, that kind of area, he's going to fit right on in. Like Casey said, man, I think the blue collar field, Chicago's going to embrace him as long as he does his part, man. Chicago's going to embrace this kid at the number 10 pick going to Chicago. So I do absolutely love that. Cowboy, let's talk about Tyler Warren as far as the best prospect in this draft. What do you have him as? Is this too far down, or is this just right as far as where he's being selected at?
Oh, no doubt. It's way too far down. Like you said, I think he top 3, in my opinion. But it's all a matter of what team needs, right? So, but I'm always been a guy that when you see guys got their helmet on, they got their hair flowing out the back, you automatically think, okay, that guy has to be tough. Because when I know back in my day when I was playing, people like to grab that hair, So you got to be tough, But the only thing that I could take away from with Tyler Warren, and Casey hit on it, it's his blocking ability. But we don't want him doing that anyway. Stay close to his strength, like Casey says, stay close to his strength and take advantage of it. And in Chicago, with that being another weapon for Caleb, and if Caleb gets under duress, Tyler Warren would definitely be that guy, like Brock Bowers does, and with the Raiders, be that guy, be that out for him to get him out of a sticky situation. But he's that guy that being from that area, like you said, you think of being that dirty guy, that dirty player, not cheating dirty, but that dirty as in getting the job done type of player. Mm-hmm. So I love this pick for them for Chicago.
All right, y'all. Got our first 10 out the way. Let's go with pick number 11 now from San Francisco 49ers. And last year we had no clue they will be picking number 11 in the NFL draft. And it's just such a kind of season they had, missing the playoffs and everything. So I was mind-boggled. I thought they were going 14-3. That's what I had them as. Boy, was I wrong about that. But anyways, let's get into it. So they picked number 11 now, with 11 picking the 2025 Coming in Sports mock draft. We got the 49ers taking on Will Campbell, lineman from LSU. Ooh, I like that. So let's go with TJ right quick. TJ, Will Campbell going to the Niners. Do you think run blocking or just blocking overall is the way to go for the 49ers?
Absolutely. Obviously, their team was gutted this offseason. They lost so much, but they need to protect, obviously, Purdy and obviously CMC. We don't know how healthy CMC is with his Achilles tendonitis. So you need to build in the trenches, make sure that it's all protected. And obviously, he's a fantastic. I think he's 6'6", 323. He's absolutely massive. So you can't go wrong with building in the O-line, and you need that to protect, obviously, your the assets you're going to be paying a lot of money to. Absolutely, gotta go with the.
No, that's the truth. When you look at Brock Purdy and him about to get paid a lot of money, and you're still kind of wondering, is he even worth that money? Well, let's keep him nice and pretty by getting a good old Will Campbell up there. But I do believe that if LSU had a better, per se year last couple of years, he will be a bigger name. I just think when it comes down to wins, losses, he didn't get as much love and support from the LSU squad themselves. Dolph, how do you feel about Will Campbell, man, going to the Niners? Is that something that the Niners need? Dolph, you got you muted, Dolph.
Can you?
No.
He's muted again.
Damn dolphin technology.
I tell you.
There you go. Go on, now we can hear you.
All right. There's this saying that we always hear, window of opportunity, man. 49ers window of opportunity closed suddenly. They were burglarized. It is gone. They had every opportunity and they failed. Now the team is being gutted. They're making personnel changes. They got rid of Deebo Samuel. They're stuck with a wide receiver who they don't want in Brandon Ayuk. This team is in flux. They're in a bit of a soft rebuild. They're not going to say it, but yes, the 49ers are in a bit of a soft rebuild. Like you said, how do we go from a team predicted to win 13 games to a team that now is picking in the top 15 of the top 12 of the NFL draft? Well, your injuries, players who are being overpaid, not playing up to the money they're being paid, a coach who is no doubt one of the better coaches in the National Football League, but a coach that continues to drop the ball in the big game at the biggest moments. And the 49ers window opportunity has just closed. And as far as Will Campbell, he'll be a good building block. The young man has been that man since he walked on campus at LSU. I hear those saying that he may be better suited for guard. Why? I watched him play tackle in the SEC, NFL Junior. If you can play tackle in the SEC, damn it, there's a great chance that you can play tackle in the NFL. So I definitely would like to see Will Campbell go there. Wherever he goes, whoever gets this young man is getting a stone to come, in my opinion, for the next 8 to 10 years if he stays healthy.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, don't you love when people come in and try to change position of someone that has done it to the best of his ability, to the best of the class, and they're like, oh, you know what? I think you actually belong here. I mean, he's a freak athlete. He's in 94th percentile in his 40, 90th in his vertical, 94 in his broad jump. He'll be fine out there on tackle side.
Yeah.
He's a 3-time All-SEC player.
Yeah.
So like I'll say NFL junior, right? So he's 3 times an All-SEC, All-American last year. He's a decorated guy. And I also agree, like that switching position, like I hate it. Draft a guy for what they did in college and don't try to, if you don't want where he plays, and pick someone else at the position you want. Like Marcus Membu, who we had going to the Patriots, a lot of people are saying, oh, he's going to be a guard. No, he was successful as a tackle. Let him play tackle. Mm-hmm. And look at the measure being, oh, well, he doesn't fit his arms are a half inch too short and all that nonsense.
I hate that.
Hey, look, guys, Burrow still has really small hands, so he's not doing
yeah. You see how it goes? See how that freaking goes, man? Oh my goodness.
And that's one of the things I hate about the combine too. A lot of people place a lot of emphasis on combine. Give me what a player does on the field, the football IQ, the football speed. That's what I want. And to see this kid right here go out and block for a running back, oh, he clears the path. I mean, it's no wonder that they like pulling him as opposed to pulling their guard. I like this guy.
Gotcha. Let's go with number 12 pick now, and this one is a very special pick from. We got Jay Hitch from the Hit Zone. Number 12 pick, the Dallas Cowboys. Jay Hitch, talk to us, baby.
So with it, great people. It's your boy Jay Hitch, host of the Hit Zone, coming to you by the Call In Sports Network. My Dallas Cowboys with 12 pick select Matthew Golden, receiver, University of Texas. Booker.
All right, for those who didn't hear that, I know a lot of us didn't hear that, but we know what it is. He's going with the Dallas Cowboys selecting Matthew Golden, wide receiver from the University of Texas. He said hook him at the end, y'all. All right, Casey, man, we got Matthew Golden now, another receiver finally off the board. Dallas, that's a big topic. Obviously, they're quote-unquote America's worst team. But how do you feel about them going with the wide receiver position now?
If you just look at what Golden was able to do this year, because coming into the year, everyone was focused on Isaiah Bond at Texas. Golden kind of stole the show, and then luckily they make the playoffs, and he kind of gets to do it on the national stage, and all of a sudden you kind of see what a player what he can do, and he affects all 3 levels of the field, short to intermediate. He has that crazy long speed that I think he kind of surprised everyone at the combine. They knew he was fast, they didn't know he was that damn fast.
Yeah, 4.29.
You add that to his frame, his route tree, what he can do. You see a complete receiver, and we're going into this process. If you take Hunter aside, because what he is, he's different. There was kind of like the thought was Tet McMillan was the first receiver. Golden rocketed up through this draft process. And it wasn't just because of what he did at the combine. It's that what he did at the combine caused you to go back and look at the tape. And what the tape shows you is that's a first-round receiver. So I think that's a huge get for Dallas, and it really kind of as a dynamic option on their offensive side.
No, I like that. And look, as much as I'm a Dallas Cowboys hater, that's a really good pick if they do get that. Someone opposite of CeeDee Lamb. And we saw what happened last year. Like, if Lamb is being double teamed or whatever it is, who's that next guy to step it up? And we didn't see that from Dallas at all last year. Maybe a few plays here and there. But I like to pick Golden, Matthew Golden doing his thing with the Cowboys. TJ, I know it's your rivals, man. How do you feel about having to stop this guy, 4.29 speed?
I know it's annoyingly, I think, a good pick for the Cowboys. Like, he has got impressive movement skills. His feet work is incredibly quick. You need that fast receiver to complement CeeDee Lamb. So you pointed out spot on. Like, if you could just focus on CeeDee, you are able to neutralize him. But having this speedy man on the other side is going to, unfortunately, make it a lot harder to stop the Cowboys this year, which sucks.
Hey, it's all good, man. It's all we'll try.
You sounded a little defeated for someone that just won a Super Bowl, DJ.
Hey, typical Eagles fan. That's a typical Eagles fan. They throwing snowballs at Santa Claus. They don't give a damn. It's what have you done for me yesterday? Like, yo, 2 months ago I won a Super Bowl for you, man. No, what about yesterday?
People were calling for Harry Roseman's. We're losing faith in Harry Roseman this offseason, which is absolutely mental. Absolutely crazy. Yeah. Just won the Super Bowl, already want to get rid of us yet.
Oh, no, man. All right, let's keep it going, man. We have a 13th pick now. The Miami Dolphins are in the building now, and they got a lot to work on, too. But the 13th pick in the 2025 KINNAMON Sports Network NFL mock draft, the Dolphins select Jahdae Barron. I like that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You talk about a guy that's very fast on the defense, a sure tackler. The Dolphins is another one of those teams that got a lot of young players coming in. They have Jalen Ramsey, who's a true veteran, who's also can be a true mentor to Jahdae Barron. But you're talking about a guy that's fast. Whether the ball is in the air or whether it's a zip, one of those short passes. He makes a break on the ball like nobody's business. Besides Malachi Starks, when it comes to that football IQ with the ball is in the air, I put him way up there. He's probably one of the top ones in the draft. But he needs to bring it down a little bit because he gets a little handsy too down the field. So and he needs to rely on his speed. He needs to he has a little tightness in the hip, so he needs to rely on his speed to help him recover when he gets overtook. But Jahdae Brown, Barron is would make a very good compliment to the Miami's young defense.
How you feel about that, Lawrence? Jahdae Barron going to Miami.
Well, as a Bills fan, it doesn't bother me because we're going to own them no matter who they draft. That's why
I was asking you.
If you're looking at it from a Miami perspective, they need turnovers. Like, they could not get the ball back to their offense last year. You could have seen them maybe go pass rusher here. Offensive line, like a guard, wouldn't have been a bad pick either. But Barron has high upside. They're looking for life possibly after Ramsey. Like we mentioned, he's a veteran, going to mentor him, but how much longer is he going to be on that team? So, there's a lot of ways Miami could have went, so Barron makes a lot of sense for them.
Yeah, honestly, I was hoping that Miami will go D-line in this position. Maybe they feel like no one was at that particular point ready for that. They might have gone with like best available player, maybe on the defensive side. But you're right though, Lawrence, the inability to take the ball away or to get sacks, right? And that was the issue all last year. And hopefully they can get better with Barron coming in. But he is one of the best cornerbacks in this draft. But I thought maybe D-line, the edge rusher, or something like that would have been more for Miami.
Yeah, I went back and forth with this too because it's so much that Miami need: edge rusher, linebacker, corner. I mean, you name it, they need it. But the only other position that I was considering was that quarterback position, and that was largely due to Tua's inability to stay healthy. And I think who they picked up as a backup was Zach. Was it?
Ooh, who is the backup?
Zach.
He's gonna get some playing time. He gonna get some playing time this year.
yeah, exactly. But
Zach Wilson. Yep.
Yeah, Zach Wilson now. So I mean, they signed him this offseason. So I mean, and he's been inconsistent. So that's the only other position that I was thinking about considering for this. But I think giving Zach Wilson that chance because he's still young, he still got the upside to to be a starting quarterback. So that's why the only reason why I went cornerback as opposed to quarterback.
Gotcha. All right, y'all. Let's keep it rocking and rolling now, man. We got the 14th pick now coming from the Indianapolis Colts, you guys. So we're keeping on with our AFC. What's that? AFC South now? It's Colts. Yeah, all right. So a lot going on in that division, and they need a lot of work in that division for sure. But let's keep it going on with the 14th pick in the Come On In Sports 2025 NFL mock draft. The Indianapolis Colts select. We got Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan. And before y'all get going, I'm not quite sure about this pick because I don't know who is it actually for. Is it for we think their quarterback that they chose a couple of years ago, or is it just because he's the best available player right now? I'm gonna start with you, Casey. How do you feel about Colston Loveland going to the Colts? And does he fit that team?
Well, they love tight ends in Indy. They can't quit it. They always have about 3 or 4 guys about 6'6", 240, great athletes, But you bring up an interesting point. Is this to continue the development of Anthony Richardson? Because Colston Loveland is a phenomenal route runner. Now, Michigan didn't ask him to block a lot, but if you go and watch his tape, he's a willing participant. But as any tight end coming into the league, there's a huge learning curve about how to handle your blocking assignments. But you can get these guys one-on-one matchups, kind of move him around. He's a guy that, when I'm doing mock drafts, this guy keeps slipping out of the first round, and I don't understand it. So I wouldn't be surprised if Indy took him. I don't think he would make it past Denver. You know what I mean? So he's definitely a high-end tight end. And outside of Warren, in my mind, these are the two that are 100% going in the first round. So he's worthy of the pick. But is it going to continue Richardson's development, or are you getting assets for whoever the next guy is?
Yeah. Agreed.
Go with you, Zach. How do you feel about Colston Loveland going to the Colts? Because, like you said, Anthony Richardson, we don't know about the development, and maybe you get Colston because it's a nice target for your third-year quarterback who still seems to be struggling, or is it just, hey, he's the best player available right now, let's go ahead and take him?
Oh man, to me it feels like maybe it's just a best player. I mean, I feel like the Colts are in just such a weird place right now where when I think of the Colts, I don't think of a single identity point. Everybody thought it'd be Anthony Richardson, and that just hasn't really panned out the way that's looked. I mean, they brought in old Joe Flacco, and he was able to perform at a higher tier than what he's been able to. I think their current tight end right now is Drew Ogletree, and then Mo Alley Cox, who I liked. And it was always so weird with him that they would use him, and he would get some points up, and he'd be a valued asset for about 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden he'd disappear. And I'm honestly worried that Colston may not be the game changer that they need. They need someone that can find an identity for Indianapolis, because they don't have one right now.
Nah, I agree. I know me and Dolph always go back and forth about I don't like teams just being stuck in the middle. I don't like that. And it's like the Colts for a long time have just been stuck in that middle. Sometimes just good enough to not have a high pick, but bad enough to not make the playoffs. I don't like that spot. And I feel like like you said, Zach, that pick does not move the needle for me, and
No.
as far as Coach loving goes, but that is a spot, like Case said, that the coach do love their tight ends, and maybe he can be a difference maker down the line. But in order for you to break out, I don't know what you're gonna go with that. Dolph, how do you feel about Coach Loveland, man? What does he bring to a coach team that we're not seeing right now?
Athleticism to the tight end, big playability. He gets in and out of his routes. Good, great. He works great in space. He attacks the ball when it's in the air. He's a 50-50 ball guy who's going to come down with it more times than not. The thing is as Casey said, who's going to be throwing him the ball? It's clearly that this regime in Indy, they're out on Anthony Richardson. You bring in Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones purposely signed with the coach,
yes,
saying that knowing that there was a 98% chance that he would be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm just being real. This is real though.
Yeah.
They if they believed in this young quarterback, there is no way that they would have went out and got Daniel Jones. We're talking about Daniel Jones. Now, we can say what we want about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has led the team to the playoffs. Daniel Jones has won in the playoffs. We got to give him that.
Yeah.
But is he the long-term answer? Let me ask y'all this. If Shador or Jackson Dart are still on the board when the Colts are on the clock, is this possibly a place where one of those quarterbacks can come off the board?
Oh, we got Dolph just dropping bombs today. Here it said
that is a good thought.
The Niners window is closed. They're done. A soft rebuild. I like that, man. All right, Dolph, dropping gems today, man.
Hey, I've been researching, baby.
Hey, man.
Hey, but I don't see Deion letting that happen though. I just don't see it. I think Deion wants to set his son up for success, and he wants him to go to a team that probably already has a couple of weapons that can help his son come along off that learning curve pretty fast. I just don't see Deion letting that happen.
Let's rock and roll. All right, let's go with our next pick now. We've got what we're on 15. Almost halfway there.
Yeah.
And we got Cowboy, which is ironic because his name's Cowboy at the Falcons.
Can we skip this pick?
You gonna skip this pick?
Yeah, who wants to go to 16?
Cowboy, do you know the pick first before I?
Hey, man, hey, look at no doubt. We ready on this one. Hey, look here.
Do you know the pick for this one?
We might go an extra hour with this one right here.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna let you have it now. Go ahead.
Hey, look, guys, huddle up. This is it. The draft has just officially started. This is going to be the make-out pick that sets Atlanta, on the stage where we're back into that 98, 2016 team. And what's been hurting us in the past is completely has been defense, tackling. Last season we had some coaching issues, yes. But at the same time, we also had some player personnel issues where players didn't do exactly what they were brought in to do, right? So, but guys, if you haven't already done so, please hit that like button because, like I said, the draft has just officially started. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell because I'm telling you, this is it.
So let's get him out of here. Hey, well, let's go. Hey, with the 15th pick. The 15th pick in the NFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons, those damn Dirty Birds, going to select Malachi Starks, defensive back from Georgia.
Yes, he is now a Dirty Bird. Fellas. Hey. But look, but you're talking about a guy that has Jesse Bates type ability. So to put him back there, to pair of Jesse Bates, that learning curve will be short. I think that he is that day one starter. You talking about an All-American athlete with all ACC honors, And me personally, I love all SEC teams on defensive players. So bringing him here to bring behind bring in another young guy to play against or to play behind our defensive front that are very young, that has already been proven that they can get the job done. And tackling has been our issue. Malachi Starks is that tackler. Malachi has the football IQ to turn any game around. No, he's not no Deion Sanders, but I do pair him and compare him to Keanu Neal, who just retired from us. He is no Scott Case, but at the same time, he is a Keanu Neal, and I think he actually can be and is better than Keanu Neal. So that 15th pick, guys, Malachi Starks all day.
I like the ticker. The ticker said Doll's favorite color scheme is picking right now.
I got the Doll.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, let's.
I'm sick to my stomach right now.
I love the pick, though. I love the pick.
Yeah, I love it. That's
a great pick.
That is a really good pick for Atlanta.
And I'm gonna get on because I know we got to move on, but I really like it because I can't wait to see Rashid Shaheed run right by him. Hey,
you see the draft thing, the profile, right? 77 tackles. This guy came in as a freshman. 60 plus tackles every year. So I don't see nobody getting past him.
Can't catch him. All right, well, it's turning into a Falcon Saints thing. Let's go. Let the draft continue.
16th pick.
All right. Let's get it, y'all. Let's go on to the 16th pick now with the Arizona Cardinals. We're halfway there now, and now we'll kind of just get it rocking and rolling. So I'm gonna ask one person per team how they feel about this. But let's get it, man. Number 16 pick, the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock now. Another team with no identity per se. We don't know where they want to go with, but let's get it now. Number 16, Arizona Cardinals with the 2025 NFL Come On Sports mock draft. The Cardinals select Kevin Banks Jr. off the line from Texas. All right, I'm gonna go with Lawrence on this one. Lawrence, Kevin Banks, what does he bring for the Cardinals, and why is he here for Arizona? What is their plan with him?
It's that second grade you see there, the pass blocking. They're a pass team. I mean, they have James Conner like to run with, but he's somebody that's going to help Kyler Murray reach what he's starting to show. But the offensive line has always been the issue is he's under gun. He can't see, he can't do things. You need a strong offensive line to not just keep the defensive line away from them, but to keep them at bay so they're not, jumping, blocking passes, not blocking the passing lanes. So building up the offensive line continues to be smart. They just re-extended Trey McBride, so that's good for them that they're going to keep that piece there.
Yes.
So they continue to build up in front of Kyler Murray because he's their franchise guy, like him or not.
Nah, I'm with it. I'll go with you, TJ, real quick. Kevin Banks, O-line for the Cardinals. What does it do for Kyler Murray and his confidence?
Well, it's there to protect him. Obviously, he is a bit on the smaller side, but he has that great athletic ability, and he's going to be great. And you need that protection. Obviously, Kyler Murray, he's okay. He has that mobility around him, but you are spot on. They don't really have that identity, and hopefully, with building in the trenches, you either open up bigger holes for the running back to run through. But Kevin Banks should be the pick for them because then again, building the trenches. That's all you need to do. But has great has balance and speed. That's what you need in the O-lineman.
I think at their best, when James Conner is, man, when he's getting it in, he's getting 100 yards rushing, and I think when Arizona's at their best, when they can get Conner involved in their running game heavily. It's just when they don't, man, it's almost like if Murray's got to throw for 250 plus and a couple touchdowns, you're probably not going to win that game. So when Conner's getting that ball 100 plus yards, 2 touchdowns in this arsenal, that's when Arizona's at their best, in my opinion, when they won against these top tier teams. Let's keep it going, y'all.
Yeah, and hopefully the protection. Yeah, my bad. And hopefully the protection can help unlock Harrison. Man, he had a really tough year last year, their first round pick, and they need him to have a big year this coming one, or it could have been a complete miss from the draft last year.
Hell yeah, I agree for sure. All right, let's go to the 17th pick now. Our favorite Cincinnati Bengals. Team of destiny, but not destiny. It was weird last year. We all knew what side of the ball they were going with. That is 100% given. They're going defense no matter what. After now paying off both the receivers a lot of money, and rightfully so for one. I don't know about the other one. We'll get into that later on in life. But they're going defense. So, and it's the point, where do you go now, your defensive side? Let's see now with the 17th pick in the 2025 Come On In Sports NFL mock draft. The Cincinnati Bengals select Derek Horman, D tackle from Oregon. All right, Casey, what does he stabilize for Cincinnati in that front four going on right now?
Who knows, man? They're not even trying to pay Trey Hendrickson. The Cincinnati Bengals blow my mind. Like, in my mind, yes, Jamar Chase, you got to lock that down,
Right.
Keep him in Burrow's chemistry. But then to pay T. Higgins, which is he's a good receiver, but your defense fell apart last year, and then to just let someone like Hendrickson walk. So you do have to invest in the defensive line. You got to keep people in. Harmon's a interesting case. When he was at Michigan State, he was a bigger boy. He dropped a lot of weight when he went to Oregon, and you saw his dynamic playmaking ability. He can penetrate. He can really flash real quick. Sometimes comes in out of control. He needs to kind of wrangle himself in. But we're talking about from an athletic profile perspective, just someone up front who can wreak havoc quickly up the middle. And that's if the AFC North in general, if you were just to blanket everything, there's some good quarterback play there, but every team's got edge rushers.
Mm-hmm.
If you can pair that with someone coming up the middle, really wreaking havoc, this makes sense for Cincinnati.
Dolph, we talked about the Niners earlier and that window being kind of officially closed. You said maybe a soft rebuild. How do you feel about the Bengals? Is it the same way? Is Derek Harmon just a safe pick for them?
I think Derek Harmon is an excellent pick for them. They have to start building up the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, we know the Bengals are going to score, but on the defense, if they're just middle of the pack, this team is a dangerous team,
right,
and they can go far in the playoff. Remember, when they made the playoffs, their defense wasn't a top 10 defense. They were middle of the pack. They were optimistic defense, opportunists. They were opportunists on defense. So Derek Harmon, he's disruptive. He has excellent instincts. He likes to use this club and rip move against offensive linemen to try to win early. I think he'll be an excellent choice and give them some stability up the middle.
All right, let's go to the 18th pick now. And that's the Seattle Seahawks. So with the 18th pick of the 2025 Coming In Sports NFL mock draft, the Seattle Seahawks will select Tyler Booker, offensive lineman from Alabama. There we go. Big boy blocking from the SEC. We talked about that with Will Campbell. Now we got Tyler Booker out here as well. Zach, your feelings on Seattle now. And they got Sam Darnold back there. Got to protect him because he's not the fleetest of feet, if that makes sense. But Tyler Booker, how does he fit in with Seattle? Oh, Zach, got a mic, maybe.
Now I'm the one being Dolph, not
Yeah.
I mean, look, yeah, you got to protect the new quarterback, right? They're going to move on from Geno, who was getting pressured nonstop, but holding on to the ball a little bit too long as well. But with Darnold, obviously not a mobile guy. He's guy who prefers to sit in the pocket. We were able to see what he was able to do with the Vikings. I mean, he had a blowout year. Like, he came out. I think a lot of people were not feeling it. We're kind of like, okay, is this really happening? And sure enough, they surprised everyone. They were able to be second in division, compete for first in the division against a tough Lions team. So hopefully by giving him some more protection, they can go ahead and make some big jumps. Obviously with the new wide receiver core that they have, could be interesting.
Lawrence, we're looking at Booker going to Seattle. How do you feel about that? Is he a great upgrade to protecting old Sam Darnold back there?
Oh, he 100% is. And you think about Seattle, I always think of defensive running game as well. So I know this running grade that you didn't see there was very good, but when I think of Alabama, I think of tough-nosed, I think of hard-nosed football, and I think of that with Seattle too. So those two pair up well. And he is widely regarded as the best offensive guard in the draft. So at this point, if you're looking at offensive line, do you want to take like the fourth or fifth tackle, or do you want the best guard? So in this case, Seattle chooses the best guard on the board, which you really can't argue with.
Nah, I like that. I like that, though. I think when in doubt, when you're Seattle and you're trying to have a new identity, I do believe going with the O-line. And Tyler Booker from Alabama is no slouch. I mean, it's a big, massive guy who could bring that thumpness to your team, I think is a good pick for Seattle. So we'll keep it rock and roll now. The 19th pick, y'all. And that's going to go to the old Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it's funny, they won the South, right? Did they win the South again? Back to back?
Yes, they did.
Both straight years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and they're picking at 19th now. So it tells you what they did in the playoffs, though. But that says a lot about our division, though. So I can't do too much bragging about the division at all. Jeez. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, on the clock now, and they're gonna go with Jahad Campbell from Alabama. I don't have that picture yet, Dolph. You can find it for me. But go with Jahad Campbell, man, and I do look. When you're obviously Alabama again. So, but when you're Jahad Campbell and you're going to Tampa Bay, you're going to a winning organization over the last, let's say with Tom Brady. So we're going back, and you had him earlier, Dolph. Oh, you had him. There you go. There you go. But edge rusher, man. I think he's going to be what Tampa Bay needs. And we spoke about, I forgot who was talking about the pass rush ability from another team in the South as well. I want to say was it Carolina we're talking about pass rushing. But if you're Tampa Bay, hey, keep it going. Right now, you're the upper echelon of the South, which isn't saying much, but still keep it going with the pressure. I like Alabama getting Jahad Campbell here. Another Bama guy who we just make things happen. Those Bama boys come in rough, tough every year. So I want to go with you, Casey. Jahad Campbell, what does he bring to a Buccaneers team? But still,
physicality.
Yeah,
he's a physical player, man. I mean, he's a specimen. It can affect all levels of the field. You know what I mean? Just getting him to come downhill now. You think that they might have a little PTSD from the Devin White, the way that played out. But to bring a guy like this in, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. And it's. In my mind, it was like if he made it later in the draft, I don't think he was going to get past Detroit. I just think he fits that kind of mold. So you're just bringing a super physical element. You already got some guys that are developing like Yaya Diaby, so you're starting to see this physical transformation for Tampa Bay's defense, and they need to keep building on that side. They can keep it moving on offense. So right now, start investing in your defense.
All right. I like the pick. Let's keep going now. The number 20 pick, we got the Denver Broncos on the clock now. All right. And look, y'all, I'm going to just call him by his nickname. So with the 20th pick in the 2025 Come On In Sports Network NFL mock draft, the Denver Broncos select T. McMillan, wide receiver from Arizona State. No, I'm sorry, Arizona, not Arizona State, Arizona. Sorry about that. Look, Denver is also one of those obvious side of the balls that we need to get. Like when Cincinnati was defense, we knew that Denver was going offense for sure, because you got to get playmakers on there to develop your quarterback who had a really good year in Bo Nix. I want to get with you, TJ, about McMillan going to this Broncos team. How does that fare for Denver?
I think that's good. I think they're getting a fantastic player. I believe he's a multi-sport athlete. I know it's basketball and football. I think it's
volleyball.
Volleyball
player. Yeah, I promise.
Okay, wouldn't expect that.
He can jump on the gym.
He can hide.
Yeah, precisely. He can moss some people with that volleyball skills there he got there. But he allows him to obviously maximize his entire catch radius and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, his IQ is very good, and obviously his route running is quite very precise as well. It is the wide receiver you need. Denver needs a decent wide receiver, obviously, to pair with Bo Nix. Obviously, they've got Sutton there. Obviously, Sutton's aging quite well. He did very well, Sutton, last year, but you obviously need that second option for Bo Nix to go out. And I believe McMillan is the actually a very good choice to go with the Broncos, right?
Yeah.
Hey, honestly, I love it. If there's like pen on paper that this is what we need to get over the hump, one thing the Broncos did was got them a superstar in the making #1 option for Bo Nix. And you think that Sean Payton's gonna mess that up? I don't think Sean Payton's gonna mess that up. Not Sean Payton. He won't mess this up. He'll find a way to get XYZ QB to throw to XYZ receiver. That's Bo Nix to McMillan. I think it'll be perfect for those guys because they needed a #1 guy, and to give Bo Nix more confidence because they're only this is still a rebuild now. They did great last year making the playoffs, but No one in their right mind saw that happening. So I think they're just ahead of the rebuild schedule. And now this year, they can pose a better threat to the competition of the AFC West. So I do like this as McMillan being number one.
And it's like Casey said earlier, Tate is like possibly the best wide receiver in the draft, and he's falling all the way to the 20s. So that seems like a really great get for Denver on multiple levels.
Yeah. The only way it doesn't work is if Sean Payton decides that he has a 7th round wide receiver from a community college somewhere that he likes better. That's the only way that this is different.
Sean Payton gets his Michael Thomas in Denver.
That's one thing Sean Payton has the ability to do is getting players to buy into his system, and that was what the drawback was with when he had Russell Wilson there. Didn't have he didn't want to buy into the system, but what Tate brings to the table is that downfield deep throw that Denver needed. Of course, they didn't need that when they played us, but they blew us out. But that gives Bo Nix that deep downfield throw, and Tate's that one guy that can win those battles for him.
That's one thing the Falcons and the Saints had in common last year. We got our ass kicked by Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos of all teams beat both our asses. Jeez. All right, let's keep it going, man. With the 21st pick now, we're going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We know they had DK Metcalf in the offseason. They let go of both Russell Wilson and Fields, and who knows where they're going? Are we still trying to get Aaron Rodgers? We have no idea what's going on in Pittsburgh as far as their QB. But let's see what they do now. The 21st pick in the 2025 NFL mock draft from the Come On In Sports Network. The Steelers select Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver from Ohio State. I love this pick. I love it. If you got the picture of him, Dolph, put it up, man. But I'm gonna go with you first, Casey, about this, man. Emeka, man, he is a beast, bro, and I think he's the most polished receiver coming out this draft. When I say polished, that as far as like physical, that's T-Mac in my opinion. Up and get it, but a guy that's polished, route running, hands, can catch, and can fit any system. I think Egbuka is that kid. How about you, Casey?
It's a tale as old as time. Pittsburgh drafting a player that I love and making me hate him. As soon as you said that, damn it. Man, Egbuka is the complete deal. He can do it all. He can do it, alignment versatile, inside or out. He's a hell of a blocker too. Like they'll love him.
Yes.
It's the last thing we need. I need them having another Hines Ward. So
I was just thinking that too.
Awesome pick, guys.
Lawrence, how we feel about Egbuka going to the Steelers? They need that, right? They need that.
Well, I'm a little bit biased. I love Ohio State, big Ohio State fan since my childhood, along with the Bills. So I think Egbuka is a great pick. I watched him play for his entire career at Ohio State. He does the dirty work. He's not a selfish player. He's done whatever Ohio State's needed him to do. And for Pittsburgh, like he has DK Metcalf on the other side. He's not expected to come in and be that number one guy. He can come in, learn those, but he can do what he does best. And the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base, who loves that blue collar, do the dirty stuff type of player, is going to love this pick. And like Casey said, makes me kind of not like him as much because he's on the Steelers, but still got to root for the Ohio State.
He reminds me of Amon-Ra St. Brown from Detroit. I think he's going to have that kind of uptick for his ceiling. I'm going to go with St. Brown from Detroit. I love what he brings. And it felt like he was in college for like 12 years. It felt like he was there forever. but nonetheless, though, this kid is dynamic, and he seems to always find his way open. And hopefully that transitions well into the NFL. But I do like this for Pittsburgh. Now, who's throwing them the football? Yeah. That's yet to be said. Unless Mason Rudolph.
I was gonna say,
right quick, before we move on, guys, man, what about the makeover of the receiver room for the Steelers? DK Metcalf, Pickens, and if they do select Emeka Egbuka, man, put him working the slot with Pickens and DK as your Z receivers and your X receiver, man. Hey, things are looking up in Pittsburgh. But again, like you said, Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
Like who's throwing like they're in my opinion now with this selection, if they go this route for in reality, it's like, okay, there's no more excuses for your quarterback, whoever that may be, and it can't be Mason Rudolph. Let's be real about that. But if it is Aaron Rodgers or whoever it is, like, there's no excuses for that particular player because you have weapons on the field that can get you going. So,
Carlos, let me ask you this: why? And this is for myself too. Why can't it be Mason Rudolph? I only say that because of Geno Smith and Sam Darnold. Why not?
Well, see,
why not? And Rudolph, he didn't have bad. He wasn't really terrible. He wasn't terrible with the Steelers. So why not Rudolph? If he is given the reins, why not this be the season that he fully comes into his own as a professional?
It could be because of the weapons you have now. It could be. But one thing is, I've seen Rudolph with this same Steelers, head coach, and and Mike Tomlin. So we've seen that already, and that's why no one's gonna go, "Yay, let's get it." No, I don't feel that. Like, if it was Rudolph with another head coach, another system with these players, you feel a lot better. But we've seen him in Pittsburgh before. I mean, his highlight is getting hit by a helmet from Myles Garrett. I mean, so that's
Pittsburgh returning to Philadelphia really quick. If Mike Tomlin lets Mason Rudolph be the starter to start the season, they're already so hard on him, wanting him gone, and he allows a guy that's just been sitting here under as a backup for all these years, and they're like, okay, this is your game plan. Yeah, they're gonna be asked for his head.
Yeah. Now, you got to realize Mason does not make like real good quarterback decisions. He can play the position, but he does not make real good quarterback decisions. So if it comes to the point where he gets under duress, it doesn't matter who he has out there as receivers. If they're not open, what he's going to do, he's not a scrambling quarterback, but he does not make good quarterback decisions. I mean, and the Steelers has not shored up that offensive line, because even the Falcons was able to get through that line. So somehow
it's gonna go back to the Falcons.
No, it's not. It's not that. It was just using us as an example. We had a bunch of young guys playing against Pittsburgh, and we were able to get to the quarterback.
I
understand, though.
I'm trying to figure out how the Falcons lost the game this year. But,
exactly. I mean,
I said 31 other teams now. That's funny. All right. Let's keep it moving, you guys. Keep it moving. So we got the number 22 pick coming from the Los Angeles Chargers. This team was playoff bound, but boy, when they got there, they got mollywopped now. But look, honestly, 2 years ago, you thought they weren't going with the offense because their offense was clicking. But this past season, with departures from Keenan Allen and other guys, their offense took a big hit, and we kind of figured that. But there's one guy, and what's the kid Johnson, right? He has just not developed at all into what they thought he was going to be, this top tier number one deep threat kind of receiver. So you know that they're going on the offensive side of things yet again. So let's get it, man. The 22nd pick from the 2025 Coming in Sports Network NFL mock draft, the Los Angeles Chargers Chargers select Luther Burden III, wide receiver from Missouri.
Like it.
Hey, how do you feel about this, Lawrence? What are you going with it, brother?
My ticker says it all. They're drafting somebody who they hope can actually catch the ball, unlike Quentin Johnston, who really has struggles with the main thing a wide receiver can do. Wow. But let's call a spade here. He's thrown the ball. There's not a single Chargers fan in the world who thinks he's going to catch it, which is crazy as a former first-round pick. But in all seriousness, they have to do this because of that miss, right? Ideally, they wouldn't have to draft a wide receiver here because they'd have Quentin Johnson, who is entering his third year, would be a star already.
Right.
You had Ladd McConkey, who I wanted to get last year and had an amazing year as one of the few reliable weapons for Harbaugh and his team. So this is one of those. The wide receiver run has started, right? We drafted early one, and then now this is how the draft works, right? Somebody starts the domino effect, and we've had how many in a row taken at the right row?
Yes.
So here's where the run starts. So they don't want to miss out and have to wait till the next round. So I think it's a necessity because of just how awful Quentin Johnson has been.
I want to give a shout out to TJ. TJ last year was on the McConkey train, and I was like, for what? And he was like, this kid's going to be good, Carlos. And he proved me wrong. The kid was phenomenal. And like you said earlier, Lawrence, if Quentin Johnson had just stepped his game up, I mean, the dude can barely catch. And I'm not trying to knock the kid, man, but God, dog, the first ability as a receiver you got to be good is catch the ball. I mean, that's elementary school right there. But TJ was like, this McConkey kid's gonna be good. I think he'd be that special, but boy, he was off the charts. TJ, you add in McConkey and now Luther Burton, who's I would call a senior citizen of college football because he's been there forever as well. But how does that feel? Those two playing together?
Yeah, a lot better than what the Chargers have right now because, yeah, Johnston, I wouldn't be surprised if he's traded after the draft or during the draft. Like, he just can't catch the ball. What's the point of having a wide receiver that can't do his job? Where if you've got McConkey and Burton there, Burton, I love it. I think he is going to be a fantastic weapon for Justin Herbert. But yeah, the Chargers has to do something because fair enough, Herbert was saving the ball all off season, but when the time came, he was throwing interceptions all the time, and his main weapon, his number one target, can't do nothing. But you throw him with McConkey and hopefully a guy who can catch the ball. Let's just say that. It looks like he can.
And I was never a big fan of Johnson anyways from his TCU days. I was like, I don't really see it per se, but hopefully he can be a go-getter, and it just hadn't translated. So yes, like Lawrence said, unfortunately you have to go back and get another receiver now because of the unfortunate events going on with Johnson for the Chargers. All right, let's keep it going on. The Green Bay Packers now pick at number 23. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this off the screen.
And before, okay, all right,
go ahead.
No, you good.
Yeah, we got the Green Bay Packers now at number 23. So with the 23rd pick in the 2025 Come On In Sports Network NFL mock draft, the Green Bay Cheesehead Packers select Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle from Michigan. So how are we feeling about that one, you guys? I'm gonna start with you first, Casey. We got Kenneth Grant, man, big boy. Let's see. Oh yeah, Casey. There we go. Boom.
Big boy's an understatement. This kid, having him next to Graham, it was just a juxtaposition of skill sets. But this kid's a landlord. He owns whatever space he's in. You can put him in the A/B gap. He can take on double teams. Crazy athletic. Comes in out of control so many times when he gets too much penetration, which that's a great problem to have from defensive tackle. If you just, you come in too quick, sometimes have to rein some of that in. But this is another player that this is a no-brainer, man. This kid is one of those first off the bus guys. Like he's just a tone setter, and he's someone you can plug and play and just forget it. You know what I mean? That's a 2-3 contract type player. Just put him there. Don't have to think about it again. He might not put up crazy stats, but he's going to keep your linebackers free.
Yes.
And he's going to reset the line of scrimmage constantly, and you're going to be playing from a deficit if you're an offense.
Yeah.
No, I do like this pick from Green Bay. Obviously, just 2 years ago, I mean, this team is young all across the board. Defense and offense. They're just super duper young. But look, they still made the playoffs last year, but it was kind of like, kind of wonky donkey, as we might say, the last year compared to 2 years ago when they made it and they beat the crap out the Cowboys and went toe to toe with that dangerous Niners team. But what I'm trying to say is they could easily revert back to what they went just a couple years ago. And this is a great pick as well. Cowboy, how you feel about Kenneth Grant going to this squad in Green Bay?
I absolutely love it. I love it. Kenneth is actually a freak of nature. I mean, that's a big boy. He's that guy that, when he get ready to get off that bus, like Casey said, you have to lower the bus down, so he can get off. But he's a freak of nature. I was surprised Michigan's front seven wasn't better as they played. But he's like the second best defensive tackle in this draft. Mason Graham also, obviously being number one for me. But I went back and forth between him and Mason. But these guys, you talking about a freak of nature, a 6'4", 360. I mean, like you said, own real estate. He's not easy to move, but he can move like a linebacker. The guy is fast.
Man, I know we're not doing trades here, but you're looking at somebody who in the bottom of the first round, maybe top of the second, who he has that body that is not very common. So I think this is a potential trade spot. If he
Mhm.
falls this far, to have like teams start looking like, all right, I need to move up and get this guy because I'm not going to get somebody like him where I'm at.
Yeah.
And let's keep it real, y'all. If you're watching this, we don't do trades on here at all. But in reality, there's going to be a few
They're gonna
trades,
happen.
and yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to happen. We just
I mean,
don't have. We're not psychic.
inevitably, Lawrence's team's going to trade with the Chiefs again. So that's.
Oh yeah, it's like clockwork, man.
It's gonna work eventually.
Before we get on to the next one, man, Case has got to head out. So Case, let everybody know where they can find you and all that good stuff.
First off, man, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I look forward to doing this again with you guys. If you guys are a glutton for punishment and you want to follow the Cleveland Browns, come follow me. The Orange and Brown Report, 247 Sports. Every Tuesday night, the Barking Browns. Every Thursday night, All Eyes on Cleveland. I take part in a draft show, so you'll find me out there. Appreciate you guys having me on. I know there's no trades, but Cowboy, I'm gonna need your guys to pick up the phone after the draft and give me Kirk Cousins for a sweetheart deal. That's what
we'll give them to you. We don't need no deal. We'll give them to you.
Done.
All right, Casey, good to see you, brother. Take it easy,
Thank
man.
you, my brother. Thank you, Casey. See you
Yes,
later,
sir.
my friend.
See you, Casey.
Appreciate it, Casey.
Yeah, man, you want a sweet deal now. You want a sweet ass deal
Hey.
for Kirk Cousins.
Hey,
Cowboy,
if he come in
my
with a
man.
few cartons of eggs, we'll make that deal.
Price of eggs might not be a bad deal
That's
for
expensive.
Yeah, it's pretty high these days, man. All right, let's keep it going now with the Minnesota Vikings, y'all. The 24th pick in the 2025 Come On In Sports Network NFL mock draft. The Minnesota Vikings select Nick Amawori, the safety from South Carolina. Look, I also said the Vikings were going to go on that side of the board too. But TJ, how do you feel about Amawori going to Minnesota? I think it's a good pick. How about you?
Yeah, I believe it's also a good pick. He has obviously the elite size and combination. He's what, 6'3", 227 pounds. I should
Something
really
like-
wrote all these down. So yeah. Like the Vikings need that help in the back end. Obviously, the questions are normally on JJ McCaffrey, but you want to load up the defense with as cheap talent as possible. And I think Nick, I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name, should be able to help Minnesota get over, keep competitive in the NFC North, which NFC North that will be another powerhouse this season.
Yeah, I think the inability to, first of all, losing guys in the backfield in the offseason, but of course the inability to get turnovers. You gotta get better at that part of the football. And we saw this wasn't about the regular season per se. Well, I mean the last game of the year, because it's almost like you gotta beat who's ever dominant in your division. Who is that right now? That's Detroit. Right?
Yeah.
And they got all these weapons. You gotta have guys that can match up with these guys. So I do understand why Minnesota will go with a safety position, because you gotta get some matchups, man. Because if not, you'll be, we all saw the last game of the season. The winner is number one overall seed in the NFC, and we saw the Vikings just, boo boo. No, the shit was pretty much what it was. Like, yo, come on, like this is a playoff game. And then we saw backdoor the next game. They played in Arizona versus the Rams, and same shit happened to them. So yeah. It's the same. If we want to contend with these elite teams out there, like Detroit, who's in our own division, and even a Green Bay team that can come back and do some things, we've got to get better on our backside of our defense. And I like this pick. How about you, Dolph?
I love Nick Amawori. The young man, he's to me, he's better, more effective when he's used close to the line of scrimmage, but he does have great instinct, has a couple pick six in his career, very aggressive, and he's that physical big safety. And you also can look at using him as also a linebacker also. So he brings versatility. So Nick Amawori would be an excellent choice right here, I think, for the for the Minnesota Vikings. Plus, they'll have to replace their longtime safety, Smith. I believe he retired, if I'm not mistaken. This is his last year. So, excellent choice here for the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, let's keep the ball rolling, y'all. The 25th pick is the Houston Texans. So with the 25th pick of the Come On In Sports Network NFL mock draft, The Houston Texans select Josh Simmons, tackle, Ohio State. Hey, Lawrence, we saw the good in Stroud year one. We saw the bad in Stroud year two. Albeit both years they still managed to get to the divisional round of the playoffs. Is this more of a let's just protect Stroud, or this is more of a we just need to have an O lineman? What's the thought process?
It's got to be both. They traded away Tunsil. Like, this is one of those, like, everyone knows what Houston needs to get. So we talk about trade possibilities. Anyone who wants a tackle knows they need to move in front of Houston, because with all their moves this offseason, they've kind of painted themselves into the proverbial corner of we got to have somebody to protect him. We just traded Tunsil, who was our best lineman. And the thinking in Houston's got to be right. We didn't really do that great with Tunsil, so let's get cheaper, let's get younger, and develop somebody. So the pick is understandable, but don't be surprised if somebody jumps in front of Houston to take a tackle, possibly the one that they want.
And I was just getting ready to say that. I said, this feels like a spot right here that someone can jump. I was getting ready to say that for that tackle spot, because mind you, once you start getting to the teeth of the really good teams, you kind of just want to keep building off your front. Now, every now and then, a la Chiefs last year, where there was an obvious need, but you're a defending Super Bowl champion. It doesn't really happen that way. But outside of that, these guys like to go with the trenches, and I figured this time someone might jump them. Let's go with Zach Simmons. What does it bring to the Texans? Zach, once again, is having a Dolph moment.
Man, I'm my bad, dude. I'm so hungry. I've been smacking on these pistachios. I keep forgetting I'm mute. Man, hey, look, they are hitting right now, bro. I mean, it's Philly. Just some of the best damn pistachios I've ever had in my life. Look, it's all about again. You get off lineman to protect your assets, man. You want to keep developing. Stroud had a little bit of a sophomore slump. I don't think that says much about him. I mean, they had a lot of issues. I mean, wide receivers getting banged up and hurt. You lose Stephon Diggs. I feel like the only other option that you would go here, if not offensive tackle, is going with threatening your wide receiver core. But there's going to be a couple of guys that you're going to be able to grab in later rounds. The big picks are pretty much already gone. So it just makes sense. Go ahead, build up the O-line, protect Stroud, and then keep it pushing from there.
Yeah. Amen to that. Amen to that. All right, let's keep it going, y'all, with the 26th pick of the 2025 Coming In Sports Network NFL Mock Draft. The Los Angeles Rams will select Chevron Revel Jr., cornerback from East Carolina. And this kid here, look, he brings a dynamic spark to that backfield for the Rams. And look, the Rams defense, they're young and they are talented already. This just adds on more to that talent, in my opinion. I do love this pick. Not necessarily a ball hawk, but someone that can get the football. And more possessions for Stafford and company, the better for the Rams. Because like the Rams have to play a certain style, in my opinion. This Rams team on offense got to play a certain style to win games. So what you want is more possessions of the football for that style to work. So I do like this pick. How about you, Dolph? What we look at with
you look at Revel Jr., this will be a pick that throws a monkey wrench in the draft. This would be a pick that pushes someone down the board that it would be a domino effect. But what this young man is, he brings size. He's electric. He's a very good player. The numbers that you see on the screen, those are his career numbers. He's dealt with a few injuries, but when on the field and playing, this young man is a great prospect. Like I say, electric, great ball hawk. He has the size. I believe he's 6'2". Close to almost 6'3", runs well. He suffered. He's coming off an ACL tear, which he suffered in September. But the young man stock, if not for that, we could be talking about him. Many would have been talking about him as one of the top corners. But yes, he's that sneaky at the end of the first round selection that could very well work out for a team.
Nah, I do like that, though. Like I said, that Rams defense, they're young and they're very talented, man. Very talented. He'll just add on to that team and make them very good. I got Rams as a sneaky team next season to come out of the NFC. I'm just saying, a very sneaky team. They could do that. So let's keep it going on now with the 27th pick. The Baltimore Ravens, and look, they just re-signed John Harbaugh again, another 4-year deal or 3-year deal, I believe. So I mean, they say, you know what, we believe in this coach. Let's keep it rocking on, and I respect that as well. But when you're seeing the Ravens' failures in the playoffs as of late, kind of gotta something's got to change. But right now, let's see what they pick with this one, because you're getting out to the teams that are just so good that we just kind of want to go with best available player or best fit for our team. So let's see what the Ravens go with this one as we let me take a revel off the screen. There we go. All right, with the 27th pick in the Come On In Sports Network 2025 NFL Mock Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Shamar Stewart, edge rush from Texas A&M. All right, go with TJ. They got an edge rusher to add on to that Ravens really good defense as well. TJ, how are we looking for the Ravens?
Yeah, we're looking good. It's sorry, Ryan just broke then. Yeah, they obviously need to improve their defense. Obviously, Patrick Queen left not last year ago, and you definitely felt like the defense suffered with it. Obviously, Patrick Queen did play a linebacker, but he was very good at getting after the QB.
Yeah.
And I believe this should be hopefully a good replacement for Patrick Queen in that defensive line. And obviously their offense is set. You know their offense is going to be really good with Lamar Jackson, obviously Derrick Henry, maybe their tight end if he can catch the ball in crucial moments.
Man, a lot of Mark Andrews, man.
Mark Andrews. But obviously you do need to fortify that defense, and obviously you need that cheap talent there. And yeah, I do like this pick for Baltimore.
Now, the only thing about this pick, man, is you look at his production as far as sacks, 4.5 sacks in 3 seasons. But NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah classifies him as a dynamic and athletic edge rusher who generates pressures but struggles to finish. Now, there are many things that could possibly lead to that. He's disruptive. He disrupts a game. So who will be the NFL comparison to him? Look no further than Vegas, than the man that just got paid, Max Crosby. Max Crosby may not get the big sack numbers, but he is a person that on each and every single down, the offense has to accommodate, has to pay attention to, because he can wreak havoc on the game. And this young man here has the ability to do the same.
Yeah. What I like about this guy is when it comes to setting that edge, he does it better than anybody in college football. Is a violent edge. If a play comes his way, tackle comes his way, he fights off that tackle, he gets through it, and he still is able to manage to make that tackle. You talking about powerful hands. When I don't know if you guys watch his highlights, but when he makes contact with whoever he has in front of him, that player goes back, and that's what you want to see from an edge rusher coming in. Like you said, he doesn't make those sacks, but he's disruptive, and I think that's why he's been talked about so much. Not as far as sack content wise, but it's setting that edge and making tackles.
Gotcha, brother. All right, let's keep it rocking and rolling, man. We got a special visit from our guy, Mr. Jack from Detroit Lions Talk. And he's going to have our pick for the 28th pick for the Detroit Lions. Jack, what you got, man?
Going on, come on in nation. It is a pleasure to be back, and it is a pleasure to be drafting for your Detroit Lions, picking 28th overall. The pick is in, and the Detroit Lions have selected offensive lineman from North Dakota State, Gray Zabel. Now, a lot of people expect the Lions to go with an edge rusher, defensive lineman with this pick, but the draft is so deep at edge and at defensive tackle that it is the perfect time to continue to beef up that offensive line. Lions lost their right guard, Kevin Zeitler, to free agency to the Tennessee Titans. Their left guard, Graham Glasgow, struggled throughout the year. They do have promising second-year player Christian Mahogany, but that is not enough. So the Lions draft Gray Zabel, who fills in at one of the guard positions in 2025, and then in the future takes over at left tackle for Taylor Decker when he finally decides to hang them up. Brad Holmes once again building in the trenches as the Lions get ready for a Super Bowl in 2025.
And that's why I love Jack. Because the kid just knows
You
what the
ain't
hell
lying.
he's talking about, man. The kid just knows what he's talking about. I love listening to him break down the Lions team and all their needs. But Gray Zabel now from North Dakota State. And we get our first, what was it, FCS school, whatever. But, I mean, North Dakota State isn't any slouch of a school. Their program has been phenomenal over the last decade and a half, for sure, bringing some great talent to the NFL. The Lions, like I said, once you start getting to, we're one of those good teams now, and I like the trenches, O-line, D-line. Let's just set that up, and we got weapons on both sides for sure. They obviously get their pass rusher coming back off injury. He'll be back to wreak havoc again for the Lions. So yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, Carlos, that selection there's a home run.
Yeah,
that kid there can play everywhere on the offensive line. If he was a center, he would have been the #1 center in this draft class. He's a day one starter. This young man reminds me of, I'm not saying he is going to take some time, but he reminds me of the recently retired Zach Morton of the Dallas Cowboys. This kid here has and he has a nasty mean streak he plays with. He has an opportunity to be a very impactful player. And if the Lions are, if he's on the board here and the Lions are fortunate enough to get him, I believe they're getting a potential all-pro player.
Yeah.
Nah, I like the way that sounds. I do, man. Because this kid, I mean, look, those guys like that, they're the real deal, man. And if you're the Lions, you're going to love this kid, like you said, Dolph. And what you had to lose with your Lions, I mean, you got everything going on. Your offense is crazy, crazy good, and now you just add more beat to keep your quarterback uphill. Lawrence, how you feel about Gray Zabel?
No, it's like you said, at this point of the draft, these teams are generally the strongest, means they have the strongest overall team. And when you think of Dan Campbell and what he wants to have there, it's hard nose, it's bite your kneecap type guys. And North Dakota State does what? They develop offensive linemen.
Yes.
So this is what they're doing. They're adding to their strength, making it even better. And that just what Detroit's been doing is just making what they do, making it that much stronger.
Bite your kneecaps. That's still funny.
That's right. That's right, man. Hey.
Like that.
Bite kneecaps, baby. We don't give a damn.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Coach Campbell, man.
Man, he's a beast, bro. He's a beast. Hey, someone that embodies their head coach, man. I like that when the team embodies the coach in this style. You got to root for him, man. All right, let's keep going, y'all, with the 29th pick. And this is a very, we didn't see this coming earlier this year. But, boy, does it feel good to be a Commanders fan right
crazy.
now. Yeah, with the 29th pick in the 2025 Coming In Sports Network NFL mock draft, the Washington Commanders select James Pierce out of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Do we have
This pick fits him. Yeah, this pick fits him point on. The Commanders look to continue on to their winning ways. And a lot of people may have thought, hey, we got a young quarterback that has came in, found the answer how to win. Let's keep surrounding him with offensive weapons. But I think they need to look toward that defense a little bit because they could be slipping on that side. And with that thought in mind, James Pierce, I think he fits that offense, that defense very well. They had problems stopping guys, running back that were able to get to the outside that B gap outside the tackle. So I think James Pierce at 6'5", 243, who I think maybe just a little light for my liking, but with that size, you can actually drop him back in coverage and he'll still be able to keep up or even run down a running back. But you talking about 17.5 sacks last season. James Pierce is a guy that can probably elevate even more into the NFL. I was actually surprised to see him drop this far down.
Yeah, he is very slight in the ass per se. And like when I saw him against Ohio State, in Ohio State in that play, he was demolished, right? But of course, that's just a big advantage from Ohio State to every other team in college landscape. But still, when I saw that, I was like, this dude he don't even have a tackle in the game. It was that bad. But still, you're going to the NFL now, so everyone's NFL ready because they're in the NFL per se. So we'll see. But I do like his motor. When you're that slight, you better have a motor, and you better come with it every single time. So he definitely has that motor. So I like that. But and when you're in this position, if you're the Commanders, I mean, it's slim pickings. They're not used to being in this spot. Yeah. But still, hey, it's slim pickings because you got your needs met on offense and mostly on defense. That's why you go with your defense to keep the pass rusher going on, because like now you're dealing with TJ's champion Eagles. Right, and you got to find a way to beat that team, that same team that beat you. So that's how it is. You draft to stop the best team in that division. That's how I feel.
True that.
Yeah. How about you, TJ? How do you feel about that pick?
Annoyingly good. They lost a couple of those D lineman defenders in the offseason, but yeah, he's quick. He's very quick. He's flexible. Both his hands and feet are very fast, so he can obviously maneuver around. Yeah, he can. His size is a slight disadvantage, especially in the run game. He is, like you said, there's tape of him being able to be moved around quite well, which is quite fortunate for us. But hey, he's also very flexible and is able to get round those bigger O linemen and just cause problems, which is going to be frustrating.
All right, let's keep it going now. We have the Buffalo Bills.
I'm throwing a curveball. I'm not going with a pick. I cannot stand it. Yeah. I do not want Donovan Izarelki. I do not want.
Hold on. Let's get on a solo then. Hey, yo, this is your call, then, Lawrence. Go ahead with it, baby.
Yeah, I do not want this. I have nightmares of Aaron Maben with this pick. I don't want him. If he turns out great, fantastic. The Bills just spent so much money on defensive line again this season. We are terrible at drafting defensive linemen. I don't want any piece of it. So I'm throwing the first curveball up here. We had this pick ahead of time. I don't want it. The Bills instead are going to go the defensive back. We're going to go cornerback Hairston out of University of Kentucky, the speedster, to pair alongside Christian Benford.
Ooh, hey. Good job, Lawrence. I do like Harrison from Kentucky, man. He's also one of those guys. I've seen his highlight tape, man. Just mind-blowing how good his kid is, man. And Kentucky is not really a known football team, but he's one of the guys that put Kentucky on the map this past year for doing very well. So I like that. So, Lawrence, what do you think he brings to this Buffalo Bills team then?
First of all, he's not Dane Jackson, so that's right now who we have starting opposite Christian Benford. So anybody but him. I'd rather have a orange traffic cone out there than Dane Jackson, who's in his second tour of duty with the Buffalo Bills. When he was with the Bills before, about 15 times a game, I would just yell at the TV and just like, Dane, you mother F, and then go from there. When they got rid of him last year, I thought, thank God he's gone. But just like the cockroach, he just comes right back, and he's here again. And as of right now, he's the starting cornerback opposite of Christian Benford. That cannot happen.
Yeah.
So we got to go Maxwell Hairston. We got to go.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Lawrence, let me ask you this. So, where do the Bills' pass rush come from then?
We're going to make Joey Bosa just a one-down player. Every
third down, come on.
Gregory So is going to finally turn all his pressures into sacks. Look at his pass win rush percentage. He beats the offense. He just can't close it because there's nobody else on the defensive line. That's where all the sacks come from. A lot of times, people don't realize that somebody else is forcing them over to where he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's attention is on Groot.
Feel like Chase Young. Jesus, man. Okay, man, get a sack, bro. Jesus.
Just one,
so
damn
it.
Just one, please.
And you look at what happened in the playoff game when Benford went down with a concussion in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And that's with Rasul Douglas. They just started going after Kyer Elam, who's also garbage. So, and he's another first-round pick. So, But if we went into the season with Dane Jackson as a starter, it'd be the Chiefs game. No one would throw at Christian Benford. They just pick on him the entire time. So forget all that. We're going with the corner. Bosa is going to stay healthy. He wants to earn money next year. He's going to set the single season sack record this year. Rousseau's going to have about 15, 16. Bills to the Super Bowl all the way.
Hey, there we go. There we go. It always ends on a good note. Always ends on a good note. Hey, all right. We got pick 31 now. You're defending AFC champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. We got our man Chris gonna break down the 31st pick for the Arrowhead fans. Let's get it.
Boy Chris Dow of the Arrowhead Chief Podcast. I will be representing the Kansas City Chiefs today for the Come On In Network mock draft. Shout out to my boy Randolph and everybody over the Come On In Network for allowing me to be a part of this. I appreciate y'all, man, for real. But without further ado, in the Come On In Network mock draft with the 31st overall pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select defensive tackle Walter Nolan, Ole Miss.
Walter Nolan, Ole Miss. Hey, you know what? And this is not kind of back-to-back years. Back-to-back years now, where it's almost like the Chiefs kind of, yes, they made it to the Super Bowl, but it's almost like there's still a need out there for Kansas City. And I never really saw that from a championship team like the Eagles per se. There's not really a huge need for the Eagles as a Super Bowl champion, but that's like the Chiefs won it last year. There was a need at receiver. This year, there's a need for both O-line and D-line. So how do you feel about Walter Nolan becoming part of the Kansas City Chiefs? How about you, Dolph?
Hey, they go back to they had success drafting from the state of Mississippi, baby. They go back, they get Walter Nolan. Nolan is he gets off. He's a penetrating defensive tackle, and that's the type of defense that he would fit best. He had a lot of wins early because the way that they used them, they kind of used them, slanted them. That first has a good first step, very physical at the point of attack, and you pair him with the great defensive tackle they already have, man, and he can be a mentor to Walter Nolan and pass the torch to Walter Nolan. I think this would be an excellent selection. Plus, if we learn anything, though they did a good job in the Super Bowl of slowing down Saquon, you need that. Besides Chris Jones, you need somebody else to get that rush up the middle.
Zach, the position for the Chiefs is the right spot for them to get Walter Nolan, a defensive lineman.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Look, you got a rusher you want to add to the tackle Chris Jones. Go and grab, make him miserable. Make it miserable. It's already horrible enough when you got to go up against the Chiefs. You got to deal with the things outside the football field and Mrs. Swift over there. And then you go ahead and add the double pressure, the dual pressure on the line. Come on. That's a great pick up there by the Chiefs.
No, I like it as well because, like I said, when you have everything, like even with their pedestrian offense, we've seen the last 3 years now, they're still going to Super Bowls with this pedestrian offense. So it's almost like it's just one team that can beat us, and that was the Eagles that beat them handily in that Super Bowl. So it's like if we can kind of avoid a team of destiny like Philadelphia, we can win it all again with our pedestrian offense. Let's keep going with our defense and keep getting pressure on these quarterbacks. Because mind you, although they have been hunted for a while, they're still facing Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. So, I mean, you're still facing talented QBs every damn year, and you want to keep putting pressure on them. So sometimes you can sacrifice offense to get really, really good at defense and stop those other guys, those counterparts. And so it's been going well for them. So shout out to them. All right, now we're going to the final pick. So first of all, thank you all for being here and showing love and support, man. We all appreciate that. You guys stepping up and enjoying this 2025 mock draft from the Come On In Sports Network. Please, what we always say is hit that like button on your way in, on your way out. Hit that subscribe button too if you're loving what you're seeing, and hit the notification bells. Put them on, y'all, to be notified every time we go live as a nation, as a unit, man. So I want to say thank y'all for that. we're going on to our defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Mr. TJ, before we get to pick, what were you really in reality? What are you expecting from the Philadelphia Eagles?
Not to pick in the first round. I think Harry Roseman is. Let me say, I'll be shocked if we're picking at 32. Either we're going to move up for a player. Like the only player I think he'll either go up for is Starks. I really like Starks. If Starks ain't there, I see us dropping back out of the first round and just getting those pick compensation. It's Harry Roseman. We know he's going to trade. It's crazy the fact that we didn't trade last year in the first round and still got Q. But yeah, no, I will be 100% real. We won't be picking in the first round. We're going to have like 2 picks in the second round. I reckon that's what's going to happen. A team's going to trade up with us to get that 5th year option. But for our mock draft, because we're not allowed trades, because trades are complicated and ridiculous, we have an edge player from, of course, Georgia, of Michael Williams, if I've said his name right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael Williams now, he's going to be the edge rusher for the Eagles. And once again, I love it. I love I mean, like I say, in reality, this might not be the pick. But if you look at what the Eagles want to bring to the table, man, hey, you lost some defensive players and Josh Sweat and Williams in the D tackle. Well, now you got someone that can replace them, a young brother from Georgia again. So keep that alignment going on, and it seems to be working for the Eagles, man.
Man, I read an article somewhere that the Eagles got like 22 picks between this year and next year.
We have 8 picks this year, and we have 12 picks next year.
So they could very well be, like he said, use the draft stock to move up the board. And for some teams out there that are looking for more, that are like rebuilding, so to speak, there, that draft stock will work for them. But I thought that was crazy.
That's obnoxious, TJ. That's obnoxious.
What's also crazy is I believe we have 8 of the 11 defensive starters of the 2021 Georgia Bulldogs. That's how much.
Jeez.
We have 8 players of that line. It's actually crazy. And obviously, I feel like we're going to add this one. He's a great run stopper. I know he's got some struggles with the pass block, but he's just power. He's constant go. And Philadelphia likes that. We like the person who's not going to stop. He's just going to go until the whistle blows. And we do need an edge rusher. Bryce Huff has been nothing, and we're paying $17 million a year. But this guy, he does need like that pass rush does need to be worked on. But he's not expected to become that full-time starter. Like we've got Nolan Stiff, he'll be the first starter, and I reckon Azeez Ojulari will be starting opposite Nolan Smith. So he's got time to develop and hopefully work on his weaknesses. But when it comes to, we know it's going to be a rushing down play. This is the player you want on the field.
Yeah.
Gotcha, TJ. Appreciate that. So, yeah, that would be the end of our 2025 NFL mock draft. We're only doing one, right? We're not doing another one, right? There is no 2.0.
No, next time you see us will be April 24th, official draft night, baby.
Oh, hey, that's just like the Saints fan, being a one and done. Let's go ahead and do round 2. Let's do
it. Hey, guess what? At least we got one.
How many rounds you need to get it right?
Y'all want that one we got? The one we got, because we can still go in the trophy case and pull ours out. We can throw the dust off it and still shine it out.
We cleared the spot out for it.
Hey, I'll take it. He said, I'll take it.
Yeah, y'all been clearing out a spot for it since y'all came to the league.
They felt sorry for y'all. They felt like a Super Bowl would be a starting block after Hurricane Katrina.
Oh man, conspiracy theorist. Hey, quick question though before we go. Amara Hampton, he's obviously been big talk. Running back from North Carolina. Now, in reality, I do believe he's going to be somewhere in the first round. In reality,
somewhere. Yeah.
But I just think that a lot of needs and fits. He's not that prototypical, just like starting running back that's gonna be a game changer, or maybe he is. But right now, the way we're feeling, we think he's probably not that guy. But I do believe that someone is going to pick him. I do think.
I think he'd go to Arizona,
Denver, Arizona,
or Denver.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of teams that can. I would hope that Sean Payton wouldn't go with a running back, but hey, I don't know, but he's gonna go somewhere. I think I can't see him like worst case scenario. His worst case, in my opinion, is Washington at 29. Like, that's like worst case scenario. I think he goes to Washington at 29. But I mean, who knows the way this draft goes?
Yeah.
If it gets past the Broncos, realistically, who needs a first round running back?
That exactly.
You know Harbaugh loves to run the ball.
You're right. You're right.
He does.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And what the Chargers draft they're 22nd. So
yeah, right after what you said, right after the Broncos.
So we'll see, man. I don't know, but I just want to get a quick thought on Amari Hampton right quick. But I do believe he will be a first round pick.
100%.
For sure. But hey,
first round talent.
First round, yeah, he is first round talent though. Yes.
Most definitely.
But that's it though, man. So I want to thank y'all for showing love and support, man. So for the big homie Dolph Jackson, we got Lawrence from the Bills. We got TJ with the Eagles. We got Zach and Nonfiction who's been behind the scenes. So shout out to Nonfiction for showing love and being part of the chat and make sure all that goes well. Those crazy kids back there. Thank y'all. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. We got Cowboy representing Atlanta Falcons pandemic and all the above. So y'all, once again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn those notification bells on to be notified every time we go live. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here, man. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Dolph, any last words?
Yeah, and y'all already know, family, the doors are now open. So come on in. Have a good Sunday, family. We out.
Cheers.
Go Bills.
Peace.
Yeah.
We ain't out yet.
The cover is sports. Let's go.